I will never forgive Nick Tarani for this bit. I will never forgive him for this joke because he is an agent of chaos.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. This is our post-election episode, our wrap-up after the weekend of some people celebrating, some people whining, vaccines being announced, contesting the elections going on. Like anybody who thought it was going to be over, sorely mistaken. I'm sure it will be this way for weeks and weeks and months and probably years to come.
Well, there was a report that Trump is telling aides he might consider a run in 2024, which is a concession.
Absolutely going to run in 2024.
But if you're saying I might run in 2024, you're conceding.
Yeah, well, that's what's interesting about this. The conspiracy theory with the vaccine, if he wants to play that card, he has to concede because it implies that you lost. If you say, oh, very convenient for the timing of this vaccine to come out after I lost the election, you have to say that you lost the election. Because if in his mind,
Pfizer was the only person who didn't take government money though.
So they're just so the conspiracy theory.
They're the only one of the I think it was Project Rapid Speed or it was Project Warp Speed.
Project Warp Speed was what Trump was backing.
Right.
That was like
they did
his
not
thing.
take any money from it.
Right. So they Project Warp Speed is such a funny fucking.
Yeah, it's like Space Force.
Yeah, it really is.
It's like a kid naming thing.
Yes. It's like
Project Really Fast.
Yeah, like how we got to get this vaccine done really, really fast. No, not really fast. We got to do like warp speed fast. We got to go light speed, man. But the conspiracy theory is that this vaccine came out after the election on purpose, and you can look at it either as like they wanted to not benefit Trump, or you can think of it, especially if they didn't take any money, that they just didn't want it to be politicized at all. Mm-hmm. So like we're going to hold off, let the people vote on every other issue.
There's also the possibility that it's just how it happened.
Yeah, I find that to be very probably unlikely, but it could be that way, yeah.
I think it's first of all, because it's not done. Like, we don't have a vaccine.
Right.
It's
they said that they had 94 people test positive. They need to get to 164 before they declare it like a vaccine, and then that would be ready for the third quarter of next year. So even
so, it's like almost like I think the opposite of everything then, because I think that like making this announcement is totally unnecessary. So like you're almost adding fuel to the conspiracy theory fire, which is like just don't make an announcement. We don't have a vaccine.
Yeah, but I think that it's enough of a results.
But like if I was gonna do something next fall, I wouldn't tell you today.
Yeah, but I think that there's probably reasons to I think that there's a reason why they announced it, be it for like their own stock price or their own benefit or whatever, or like for science in general, like this is the way to do it, like we're on the right track. There's enough that came out that they were like, this is when they would speak up. Like they're not just like willy-nilly doing it. It's like this is far enough along with enough positive results that there's a reason to talk about it. Because there's been all sorts of trials going on that there hasn't been like an announcement like this because this is like the furthest and the best that, has resulted so far.
But we're still a year out.
We're still a year out from being able to administer it to everyone. But as far as
it's only gonna have 15
million we're not a year out from
having 15 to 20 million doses.
Right. But we're not a year out from,
and then all those aren't even coming to us.
That's like the logistical shit of how to like administer it. But as far as like the research of the medicine of it, they're on it like right now.
But I believe, and I could be wrong. I believe it's when it's done in a year, they will have 15 to 20 million cases to distribute worldwide. So
you'd have to imagine. That's
really
going to the
much.
important people.
It does.
That's
I think it's like legally it has to go to everybody, almost like housing kind of deal. Like when they build a big skyscraper, like some's got to go here.
Yeah,
I think it has to go everywhere. But this is an announcement saying nothing.
That's not saying nothing.
As far as how it affects.
If that's the vaccine, it's like now we need to like administer it. But if they figured out the science, that's a big deal.
But
the logistical side of it is different than the medicine side of it.
Yeah, in a year we will have enough vaccines for, I don't even know the math, 15 out of 7 billion?
Yeah. So, I mean, they got a long way to go, of course, to curing it all. But if this came out during the campaign season, Trump would be riding that hardcore. There'd be a lot of people who are like, Donald Trump like got the vaccine done. Project Warp Speed worked.
Right.
So
I think people would be quick to give it to him, but like I don't think a politician deserves anything. I wouldn't.
No.
This doesn't matter who's in the office. I don't think like.
I think he would have won if he got a vaccine out.
Oh, I don't think so at all.
I do.
He lost by 5 million votes.
I think that would have switched severely if there was like
I mean, maybe if it's like when the campaign started a year ago, but like. I mean, if say they were, they held
it was probably too little, too late.
If they held this for a week,
the thing is, his campaign didn't have like he didn't have a campaign. Really,
he did.
You know, like he didn't, but he didn't have like a campaign message. Like the first time he did. The first time it was like, you know, I'm not a politician, drain the swamp, yada yada, and that really resonated with people. This time around, it was just like.
I mean, he had a campaign message that it was build the wall, like he didn't do any of the stuff.
Right, but he had like something to campaign with, and this time
he could have made up stuff again.
Yeah, he should have. I mean, I don't know why he didn't do anything, but if he had a message of like I got dealt the shitty hand of Corona, and you know, within months I had a vaccine, I think that would have made a huge difference. I mean, Corona's why he lost. So if he could have,
I don't think that either.
Oh, come on!
I don't think that's why. I think obviously everything plays a factor.
If there was not a worldwide pandemic, I think we would have just kept going exactly how it was going, which was
it's obviously maybe
that way.
But I don't think that like it. It played a big factor, no doubt. But I don't think a lot of places in red states they backed their guys. Because of Corona, because it's like we're all in the ship together. Let's fucking flow.
Yeah.
So like the argument is like a lot is like it's like all right, man. Like, we all got dealt a shitty hand. Let's get behind each other. Let's do this. That's how.
But I think like in general, like when the economy tanks, like you usually lose your presidency too, right? So like if it's just if times get bad, people are like, we need to change something because we just can't keep doing it like it is. Mm-hmm. And Corona was just like the ultimate, like times are going bad. So I think like states like Pennsylvania where there are people who are like skewing towards Trump, but we're like, this is just too much of a fucking shit show. We got to try something different. If it wasn't a shit show, if it was just going the same way it was, I think people would have just been like, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA.
I think the people who are MAGA, MAGA, MAGA are MAGA, MAGA, MAGA no matter what.
But the states where like the swing states, which is what it all comes down to, I think would have that message of like anti-politician, anti-establishment could have just kept going because there was nothing pressing. There was no reason to stop it. Now they needed to stop it because it was like, well, we need someone, like we need the adults in charge because we have a major, major problem on our hands. If there was no major problem, I think they would have just continued with the wall and the MAGA and like the fluffy shit.
Yeah, but also you have to like...
Once it became concrete and he didn't have anything concrete, I think he was fucked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I guess. But I also think like, you have to look to the root of the problem of the pandemic, where it's like, why is there a pandemic particularly bad in America? Because we didn't have a politician.
Yeah.
Because we had someone who put like Jared Kushner on his Corona task force. Mm-hmm. When like I think Biden announced his today, and it's like 6 doctors. Everyone's like, "Whoa, this is weird."
Yeah,
it's like 6 epidemiologists.
I wonder though, like I guess short of
I don't know if Kushner was on it, but
short of just a national mask mandate, which is a big deal, admittedly. But like, what can you do?
I don't know the answer to that, but I know it's worse here than everywhere else.
Yeah, but that's what I also go back to. Like, it is his fault, but I think had there not been a coronavirus and there wasn't 25% of the deaths in America, I feel like he would have just kept beating his drum and dumb people would have just kept going for it.
Probably.
Then that's what you're going to hear from him when he finally does concede, whenever it is, or when he finally moves on in some regard.
He's doing campaign rallies.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'll hear this is going to be a 4-year-long campaign. I think you'll like, I just said in 1 Minute Man, like, okay, you won, but like, did you really? Because now you're going to have to listen to Donald Trump campaign for 4 straight years.
Should be fun. I mean, I
buckle up.
The only conspiracy theory I have is that he wanted to lose. And that he just
I would have thought that
he
early
has this
on,
macho man thing,
but I think
he has like they have like
ego.
plans for Trump TV and stuff like that.
I think that was the original idea, was to get all the publicity from the campaign, and then like, I'm not actually gonna be president. Let's just go launch that. That's the thing that everybody keeps talking about. He wants his own channel like Oprah or whatever. But I think once he got into it, it's like when you watch Portnoy operate. So he doesn't really care about these things, but then he gets into it, and then the ego kicks in, and now he cares about it. Mm-hmm. So I think now it's too late. But had it happened, like had he somehow could have like bowed out after like a year or something like that, I think he would have been like, yeah, I mean, I never wanted this in the first place. Let me just go back to being, an entertainer. That's why if I was him, I would concede by just being like,
you should have resigned as soon as he got it. And like, I just wanted to show you.
Just prove the point. Yeah. And that, I think then he still would have kind of been he's certainly not lovable, but like this.
I honestly, my thing with him is, has there been political? and it became political once he became a politician. I've always hated Donald Trump. I find him insufferable. Like, I don't find him. I never understood. Like, even when Mac Miller had the song, like, I'm a Donald Trump shit. I was like, this song fucking sucks because that dude's a loser.
Yeah,
he's a loser's idea of a cool guy.
Yes, like he's like the guy. He's like the rich kid in high school who has money, and right? So you can party at his house.
Like, you're a fucking loser, but like because like you have a nice car, I'll hang out with you.
Right.
But
there was something like there is something funny about him, unintentionally funny. But there is something, again, it's very similar to Dave, where it's like the way he like gets shit wrong or like the way he like is just like a braggadocious idiot makes you like it comes across as entertaining rather than anything else.
I find Dave's funny probably because I know Dave personally. And I know he just laughs. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know Trump personally, obviously.
Yeah.
But like there was never like I never like the Celebrity Friends was like a hit show for a while. I was like, this show fucking sucks because that dude's a dickhead.
Yeah.
There was
most people like the You're Fired became a thing and like. He made the appearance in like Home Alone, like little things like that, where it's like.
But that was
like
before. That's just he was just a rich.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, so long, he was the rich guy who just is like. He's always an asshole. I get it, but I think there was most people. The reason why there were rap songs and shit about him was that it was just like this cartoon character almost, And had he just played that and like early on, it was funny. You know what I mean? Like we were laughing at the campaign shit.
I don't think I ever did.
Oh, most people.
I hated when
we were selling the hats and shit like that.
When we did that.
Yeah, we like that. At that point, it was still like nobody thought it was gonna go down this road of like horrendous fucking everything, But had he just been like, I just proved that like your whole fucking system is trash. That like all you lifelong politicians are garbage. And like I just clowned your whole fucking industry, but like I'm out. Like I don't need this. You know what I mean? I think it would have been probably more of a statement than anything he accomplished if he was just like, see, like you guys have no idea what you're doing. I still feel like to some extent he did that.
How so?
Like I mean, it'll probably bounce back in a sense of like go back to the politicians. We kind of talked about it last episode, but I feel like he did kind of leave a mark of like there's a fuck ton of people.
Well, but I mean, like Reagan was an actor.
71 million people who were like.
He's not the first act. Like Reagan was an actor. He's not the first.
No. I mean, the first person to like kind of shifted in the sense of like there's 71 million people who feel like they're not. Their voice isn't heard, they're not represented, that the whole system doesn't work for them. Like all that shit, I feel like he kind of empowered a lot of fucking assholes.
But like you could say that about any losing election.
Yeah, but I feel like he like the way his like whole campaign ran, I feel like was more of a statement than other losing campaigns. Like because he won the first time around. So I feel like that was the point was made like and then I think this time around, like I said, I think if it wasn't for COVID, I think it would have just kept going. I think it would have been the whole idea of like we are bucking the system. We're like the lifelong politician is not who represents us anymore. All that kind of shit. But I think it had to.
But represents who? Like are you talking about
most of America?
People?
Like,
not most.
Well, I mean a fuck ton. Yeah, like the majority of states. Like it's all like the concentration, no doubt. But I feel like the majority of states and the majority of like. Middle America, like huge swaths of the country, I guess. You have like obviously pockets of densely populated cities, but like
all the cities. But like the map is so I hate when they show the map because the map's
it
just
looks
a lie.
so red,
right?
Yeah,
it's just that's not where people live,
right?
Where people live, almost like when they look at the maps, like where people live, we're all blue. Like even in red states, if there are people who live there, it's blue, and then it ends up looking like red, and it's like well, that's not indicative to what actually happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's obviously down to the numbers, no doubt. But I think that the losing side, I think in this case, still is a like. I think the perception has really kind of changed in how politicians will approach the people going forward.
Yeah,
I think it's hard to be like I don't think even though you won, it's like there's a fuck ton of people who like do not agree with how your side rolls.
But that's every election.
But I think more so than ever, it's like the most polarized it's ever been. And I think it's hard to like.
I think
there's no coming together here. There's no like. Well, I think in the past it hasn't been as much like hatred or like complete opposite the way it is now.
Yeah, well, I think it always has been. It's just now there's social media.
Yeah, but I think that social media like rallies people and changes people to like once you have that understanding and that knowledge and that information, it pushes you even further apart.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's just no Like you can't just run. This is kind of like what Cal Penn was telling us, like where how it trickles down. Your vote does matter because they're like Joe Biden has to be like, all right, well, a fucking lot of people disagree with me, and so I have to run things like somewhat.
But you like,
accordingly.
but again,
like,
it's just that's what happens with a loser. Like he's gonna win the election by the biggest margin ever.
Yeah,
so like every other election would be like a lot of people disagree with
trickling
me.
in, yeah.
Like,
but yeah, I mean, I
think he's gonna win. I think they say he's probably gonna win 52%.
In my life, I've never seen it be this like this much of a clash, where it's like, I mean, when in other elections when one side loses, like they're not happy about it, but I've never felt it where it's been like, you cannot like we disagree categorically on absolutely every single thing you stand for.
And I think that's what you have to look at. You have to look at like. Why? I think Donald Trump plays a huge factor in that.
Yeah. Well, but I think that he kind of played like he became it, but I think he and whoever runs his campaigns and shit, I think like identified it and exploited it.
Right.
And I think that was there and it was like bubbling and they like were like, there's something here where if you rally these people and give them the voice that they feel that they have, not had, you'll become.
Who's the voice? Who didn't have the voice?
That middle America.
But like middle America overwhelmingly voted for Joe. Like working class people overwhelmingly voted for Joe Biden.
I personally think because of coronavirus. I think if shit did not hit the fan, I think they would not have. I think that the working class middle American feels that like the liberal elite are like these smug assholes who don't represent them at all.
And 60% of them voted for Biden because of coronavirus?
Yeah. I think that the coronavirus and the economy like fucking scares people and like we need to change something.
I think if you're that like fuck the liberal elites, like so you blame the pandemic on Trump and you're like, all right, we're back with the liberal elites.
I do. I mean, I think that was enough to make like the Pennsylvanias and the swing states of the world.
We have to stop saying liberal elites, by the way. It's insane.
But that's what I mean. That's what people view them
like,
as,
I hate liberal elites, and I'm voting for a guy who lives in a fucking gold tower.
That's why
who's a reality
campaign,
TV host.
It's
the stupidest thing of all time.
It's the greatest like scam that's ever been pulled. That they convinced a huge chunk of people that he is a populist and that he's for the people.
It's insane.
It's like he would literally spit on your face. He would kick you. Like he would not break bread with you. He wouldn't look your way. He wouldn't fucking piss on you if you were on fire. He would spit on your face.
He lived in a gold
all he ever
tower.
wanted to do was be famous and be in Hollywood and be elite. Right. And then he just was like, nope, I'm going to pretend the opposite. And these motherfuckers bought it. It's crazy. But that's because, like I said, I think they were like, it could have been, it should have been someone who it actually, like, who represented that. It would have made more sense. But I think they would have latched on to anybody who preached that message. Doesn't matter. Clearly, it doesn't matter who it came from because they just wanted that message to be, like, out there and heard. And they would even allow a fucking billionaire elitist, the most elitist of all time, to deliver it for them.
But I also think like the middle class middle America working class gets misconstrued and like it's stereotypical of us to think like anyone at a Trump rally is like middle America working class. Whereas like I think largely that's not the case. Like those are rich people. Like if you look at those events and like Trump rallies and things like that, where you see people in like jacked up like $70,000 trucks with their like $15,000 worth of guns. Like, you're not middle America. You're not working class. You're rich.
Yeah,
you're a rich person.
But yeah, and that's like they have all convinced themselves, whether it's Donald Trump or them or their neighbors, that they are like the down and out, like fucking. We're
the unheard voice. Like you're a white man and an $80,000.
You're just racist. You're just fucking racist and angry.
That's like all those things. Like you always saw is like these big trucks and like these dudes with these guns. Like all that shit is fucking expensive. You're not working class if you have all that stuff.
Right. It sucks. Right now, I don't think it can be viewed as anything other than just like horrendously divisive and all that shit. But I think one day when they do like the Harvard Business Study or write the books on it or whatever, it's just a shame that he was such an asshole because I think there could have been like good to come out of like the idea that like, these guys who have been in place for 50 fucking years, who only look out for their own self-interests and like the way that the system is run is trash. But then, the one guy who could buck the trend, like, did it worse.
Yeah. I always thought that was silly. That was always like a thing that I feel like people, when they first voted for him, they always made excuses as to why they were voting for him. And it was like, oh, Washington needs a shakeup. That was always the one that like a lot of people said. They just didn't want to say like I like his tax cuts. Just fucking say it. Stop being a pussy and just fucking say it.
Voting with my wallet. I think that's like totally a valid thing to do. And not an honorable thing. Not you maybe not proud of it, but if it's just like I worry about my money and my family and this is what affects me, so I'm voting for that.
Right. And it was like Did it need a shake up? Because look at like
we shook it. We shook it a lot.
Yeah,
we fucking hit it with a goddamn earthquake.
And then it's
shaken country syndrome.
We like
fucking
and then
broke
everyone
its
who
neck.
was there beforehand was there, like the drain the swamp stuff. Like everyone's there.
Mitch McConnell's still hanging out.
It's all the fucking same. Like it's the thing that pisses me off. Like, not pisses me off. It just like it annoys me. It frustrates me. Is like it is never gonna change for me. Like I'm going to be fine. Yeah. I'm a white guy who does pretty well for himself. I'm always going to be fine.
Yeah.
And then when you like, I don't like seeing people on social media who are like, and look at this, like my life hasn't changed at all, despite this. Like, yeah, I know.
Some people's lives
we're fucking
really
lucky,
did.
man.
Yeah.
Like I'm very lucky. I'm like, my life is not going to change.
Right.
Nothing changed in the last 4 years.
Right.
Nothing will change in the next 4, and it's going to be the fucking same. But I think it's just like such a cop out when people are like, well, life doesn't change.
It's a
not for us.
very short-sighted, like closed-minded view. But I also can understand like I guess it's funny that there are some people who like don't have the luxury to look past like their fucking minimum wage, their 9 to 5, their taxes, and them I can understand being like, I don't like that there's fucking racism or kids in cages or whatever, but I need like this to happen in order to survive. But it's the people who actually like do have the luxury in a sense, you know what I mean? Like you can say that your day to day doesn't change because like you have everything. It's like those are the two extremes. It's like the one guy who can be like, I just need to worry about my day to day because I can't fucking survive worrying about anything else.
Yeah,
those are the people who get to say that. The people like who are saying it are the ones who actually could. You're the ones who should be saying, I'm good no matter what, so let me try to speak up for the people who,
Yeah.
But that's also a very idealistic way that I don't expect many people to do. I don't do it myself. I can't be like, I'm not out here trying to be a hero for the underrepresented people of the world because I'm good, because I still have my own shit to worry about, and I'm kind of selfish.
I think that's because someone tweeted Chrissy Teigen that once, like why do all you celebrities want to vote for Joe Biden? Like, don't you know he's going to put your taxes up? And she's like, yeah.
But I can afford it.
I know, and
so
I can
I'm
afford
good.
it. So like, it's kind of the same thing. We're like,
but that's I do understand the people in the middle who are like, I can't afford it.
But the people in the middle, like that, I think that also is just because people like you hear one thing and you just kind of like agree with it, and you like never like look like Joe Biden's not becoming a social. Like remember when it became a meme where it's like
when 50 Cent said there was gonna be like 62% taxes.
Right.
Like it's not, but it is higher. I mean, it's not.
It's higher, but it's
not,
the money over $400,000.
Yeah.
No,
you're not.
Almost everyone freaking out with that. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna hit that.
Right.
Just chill.
Yeah.
Like remember it became a meme like if their pillows look like this, don't worry about Joe Biden's tax plan. Like if you have a bag full of bags under your sink, don't worry about Joe Biden's tax plan. Like there was one who was just like clearly like a frat bros dorm with like like the tables looked with like just shit everywhere. And,
yeah. The one guy was like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Just worry about Biden's tax plan, man. It's like
not
your fucking problem,
the fucking
dude.
floor, dude. The bag with the bag is probably. I want a full psychological study on that. It's like everybody just does it for some reason. I don't know why. It's just like if you had somebody in your family who did it, then when you're old enough to do it, you do it too. I didn't think twice about it. And you know what I will say though? I kind of use them.
I never use them.
I guess I use them mostly with my kids. Like with
I
diapers,
guess I
tie it up. But I actually use those bags a decent amount.
I lied. I do use them in the bathroom trash bags.
Yeah.
Kids.
So like it actually that's my own. That's the only form of recycling I believe in is just using those fucking bags. It feels very stupid to just take those and throw them out for whatever reason. Putting them underneath the sink that makes much more sense to me. It's something that everybody does, just like masturbating. Everybody masturbates. Just like the people. If you put your bags under your sink, you masturbate. If you don't put your bags under your sink, you masturbate. Everybody masturbates. Since the beginning of time, jerking off has just been like the same way.
It's like Costanza said with the toilet paper, where it's like, it's never changed. It's never going to change. Guess what, Costanza?
The game done changed.
We flipped it on its head.
The game done changed thanks to Trojan. Trojan has come out with Tantrix pleasure sheets. Now, I shouldn't say that the masturbating has never changed because they've tried to change jerking off. They have these devices and these electronics and these big plastic things that are...
As someone who's tested a couple of them.
Dabbled?
The worst. You gotta clean them.
Cleaning is
You
crazy.
know when you close the window and you're like, oh, I'm disgusting?
Yeah.
Try cleaning your jerk off toy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It feels like they're all big and bulky. It feels like you're fucking a fridge. Like you just... you're trying to hold a gallon of milk with 2 hands and jerk it off. It doesn't make any sense.
You know the old euphemism, like a hot dog down a hallway? That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm holding like a skyscraper and I'm trying to have sex with it. And then the cleanup, it's already messy enough for us guys. Now we have to like a device that I got to get out like the power washer, like blasting the hose through it to clean it off.
I like to be alone in the shower, not with my jerk off toy, like fucking soaping it down.
This thing. So Trojans come out basically with this disposable pleasure sheet. So you rip it out, you wrap it around your dick, you use a little bit of lube, and next thing you know, it's like you're having sex. And then you just throw it away, and next time you want another one, you grab a new sheet. You don't have to worry about hiding it. You don't have to worry about being ashamed of it, cleaning it. It's just
hiding it is the worst, because you ever hit a fridge? It's hard to hide those things.
And classic, how many times have we made the joke about, if I ever die, you got to go to my place and get everything out from underneath the bed because I don't want people finding that. Nope. Don't have to worry about any of that. It's a new way and a better way to masturbate. After like 10,000 years, Trojan has changed the game. So go to Amazon, Walmart, walmart.com. Anywhere you can get them and make masturbation that much better. Shout out to Trojan Tantrics, changing the game. Why don't you subscribe?
It means you like us.
Click the subscribe button, because if you don't, I'm going to fucking murder John.
And I'm going to like it.
Kill him with my bare fucking hands.
Yeah.
And if you weren't sold on this video, there's plenty more. Watch what's next up and then subscribe. But just subscribe so I don't have to fucking kill him.
Well, I don't know. Do what you want, but subscribe. Probably.
That was a straight up... That's The Onion come to life. That's an SNL skit. Trump and company doing their big, an important fucking announcement, an important press conference, if you will, in front of this Four Seasons landscaping. And to me, the tweet from the CEO or whatever, the founder, I don't even know if you call it a CEO. Did you see that? Where he was just like, we here at Four Seasons Landscaping.
Wait, that was real?
I thought so. No.
Oh, I thought that was a
was that a joke? Oh. I thought that was real.
I saw that tweet. I just assumed if that was from the CEO, that would be fucking hilarious.
I thought it was real.
See, the whole situation, that's a difficult situation for me. Because on the one hand, it is absolutely hilarious. It's just very, very funny. But it's also like people took it too far and ran with it. Like they accidentally booked it. They didn't accidentally book it. They booked it at a stupid place, but it wasn't an accident.
No,
you don't,
not at all.
Like, just the people who think that's an accident are just either you're trying too hard to bash Trump. Like, it's funny on its own.
Yeah.
That they just chose that place to book it.
Right.
But in what world do you accidentally book the Four Seasons Landscaping? Like, it's impossible.
No,
It's literally like, bling, bling. Hello, Four Seasons Landscaping. Hi, this is the Donald Trump campaign. We'd like to book an event there for a press conference. 16,
what?
The daughter of the business owner who's like 16 years old getting her first job. Is just
right.
Yeah, that sounds great. We definitely do events. Awesome. Lovely. I have no desire to talk to your event manager. I do not want to know
no details, no nothing.
We'll just see you there in a little bit. And okay,
lo and behold,
see you
presidential conference.
That's just not how those work.
No.
You ask to speak to people, you ask to talk, you confirm, you exchange, you tell what the address is, you tell them they're just. It doesn't happen like that.
Right.
So they meant to book Four Seasons Landscaping, and that in of itself is hilarious.
Fine, just let it be.
It wasn't like a
breathe.
fucking. And the fact, because this part they definitely didn't know. They did not know that it was fucking. Its two neighboring buildings were a crematorium and a sex shop. They did not know that. That I'm sure of. They knew they were booking it at a landscaping company. They did not know that. Fantasy
Sandwiched
Island
in between.
Fantasy Island with it was a dildo store and erotic novels is right next door. It looks like a fucking house. It looks like fucking, I don't know, a discount kink shop, like kink set. Because it's it is just how sex shops are. You can't really have windows, I guess, unless you're in New York City.
Right.
But most fucking X-rated buildings have no windows.
It's like a box.
And so it's just this tall. It actually looks like that thing you did like a 1 Minute Man on or Mail Time. Where it was
with the windowless building for the NSA to hide the spying. Yep.
Yeah, that's what
something's going on. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe the Four Seasons is where they hide the fucking the Area 51 shit.
And then the guy got mad, the owner, because people just kept calling and obviously like people were doing with the voter fraud hotlines. They're just calling and pranking it. They just called and pranked everyone involved around it. And I hate the people who are going on Four Seasons Landscaping and giving it bad reviews.
Yeah,
you're a fucking loser. I think they had a pretty cool statement where they were we were honored and we would have hosted absolutely anybody.
Yeah.
Right? of course. Like, I think they just wanted to. They said they just wanted it off 95.
Right.
So they like, we don't want to be in Philly fucking at all. So
Right.
we'll just
peel off and go.
Like, you shouldn't want to be in Philly because that fucking Harlan Hill dude decided he wanted to go to Philly, and then just everyone just kept following him. Like Philly is, I make fun of Philly. But like Philly is the city you don't fuck with.
They deserve. Yeah, they deserve.
You don't
the
tell them
reputation.
you're going there for war.
No.
When you look like a fucking frat boy who didn't make the cut. Like
Right.
who wouldn't go fucking elephant walk. And everyone's like, get the fuck out of here, Harlan. You're cut. Like, and you just walk around and people just follow him like, Harlan, where them hands at? Where them hands at? Because guess what? Philly will fuck you up. And if they all overwhelmingly voted for Trump, as they did, probably not the best to go fuck with them while they're in the middle of a party.
No.
Like, did you see like they had like the Elmo dancing? They had fucking a bunch of gritties dancing, which was the funniest shit ever. Every gritty meme fucking killed me. And then they just had this huge fucking bird. Did you see that?
No.
Where it was just a monstrous Eagles logo. like someone just had it. Like it was like that wasn't something you could have.
No, you can't whip that up in time.
That fast. Like
they were just like, yeah, we got our giant eagle
had
shit
it
on
laying
deck.
around in the backyard.
Dude, I didn't realize that the first person they brought up was a fucking sex offender. Daryl Brooks, the first person Rudy Giuliani called up as a witness to the baseless allegations of voter fraud at the Four Seasons Total Landscaping in Philadelphia was Daryl Brooks, a convicted sex offender who exposed himself to little girls. Just an all around well executed. So you know what the gamers in like the gamer world have created in virtual reality? They've created the landscaping, and furries have invaded it. So there's just in the gamer world, there's all these people in VR furries just like fucking each other outside of the Four Seasons landscaping. I mean, it was amazing.
Hilarious.
It is
it's
too
so
good.
like just the fact that Trump misconstrued it and was like, we're going to the Four Seasons. Whoops, never mind, delete that tweet. We're going to the Four Seasons total landscaping, which implies the belief that there is a Four Seasons part landscaping. Like Four
Total.
Seasons, like
This is the full one.
No, we only do bush pruning. You're looking for total if you're looking for a new lawn. By the way, I got a segment. It's called Who's Back of the Week. Didn't steal it from any podcast, certainly not one of Barstool Sports.
Totally unique, totally original.
I think the Who's Back of the Week is the American flag. And
Then you can rock it again and not be worried about being called like a
I
racist
think,
asshole.
right? Like it's like I'm trying to think of a brand that's like a strong comp for it. Where like I guess maybe Yeezys would be one where like you never had a problem with how they looked. You never really had a problem with the organization as a whole. But the people who wear them are douchebags, and you don't want to be associated with it. Where like it wasn't it's not a political statement. Like I hate America. It's not like a thing. It's just like everyone who has this is a loud asshole, and it's just fucking annoying to be around. And then I was just walking to grab drinks with Nate and Nick Saturday night, and people were out, and like I just saw people with American flags, and I was like,
And it's like a totally different
I was
vibe
like, it
now.
might not be an asshole.
Yeah.
Like it might just be a regular person.
Yo, the amount of
Because it's strict, like it's strongly. It was never a political. Like I was never embarrassed to be an American. I was never.
Right.
It was just that like they had been overtaken.
If you were waving a flag
Right.
on the back of your truck or whatever for the last 4 years,
we said it recently that the one way you could know someone was going to have a shitty tweet is if they
American flag
were in
heavy.
your mentions and they had an American flag in their ad.
Yep.
They like really like it's almost like the N-word. We're taking it back. We are
we're gonna
reappropriating.
empower it. We're gonna empower it by using it.
It was like because people had like 7 different American flags on them.
I wonder
and it was
if
like,
do you think Oakley's can have a glow up now? Those glasses were the other sign. It was the American flag and those guys with those fucking glasses. Being bald headed, wearing those sunglasses, and having the American flag were out the last 2 years. It wasn't a full 4 years, but it was like 2 years in.
It took
we
a little while
realized.
for everyone to realize, like, oh,
Yeah.
this
Wait a minute.
This
Yeah.
is like you. Everyone who does this is being a dickhead to me. Why?
Yeah. It's not even like it wasn't really political. It was like, you're just an asshole.
Yeah, I just don't want to be
But you happen to all wear this, flaunt that, and have that haircut.
It was.
Could
like,
you imagine being at? I mean, there's no like owner of the American flag per se, but like, but when all those, if you manufacture sunglasses like that, and that meme goes around, you're probably like, fuck,
Yeah.
fuck.
You
I did
sold
not-
cars. You were pissed because everyone taking a fucking selfie in the driver's seat. Like
If you sold the truck,
dickhead.
yeah. If you liked like the cab of your truck, you were fucking an asshole.
This
all of a
guy is
sudden.
gonna have something in his fucking bio where it's like professional asshole or something like that. Like fuck your feelings.
You know what else is happening right now? And I'm
facts don't care about you. Like it's gonna have something frustrating in his bio.
And a proverb.
And the Bible.
Maybe the Bible's going to come back too. The Bible's going to come. I wonder right now, we're going through I think I'm leading the charge here. You can no longer tweet a story about your child. You can't do it. You cannot tweet my blank year old child XYZ. You can't do it because nobody will believe you. And most of them, I'm leading the charge because most of them are so blatantly fake and so ridiculous. Which one?
I think it was after the Ruth Conda, where it was like, I forget. It was with when Shay was like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh yeah. I mean, my own version of that. She said, "What's a president?" I was like, she doesn't fucking know any of these things.
SC Cup had a good one too, where it was like she asked her son what qualities should be in a president. And he was like, medium-sized, has a mustache.
That's the real answer of a 4-year-old. These people who are like, I mean, if you're going to try to tell me that your kid knows the vice president, no, they fucking don't. But I got a couple DMs this weekend of people being like, my 4-year-old did kind of have a funny moment that was real, but I'm afraid to tweet it. You cannot, and you really can't be. Even you can't be inspirational about a dead person right now. If you say some corny shit about Trebek or somebody, it's you just get lumped in with Ruth Conda.
Someone said, I think it was on Saturday. Trebek died yesterday.
Yes.
So I forget if it was after the election, or after the Trebek, but someone said right now is the purge, but for bad tweets.
Yes,
we're just allowed to have.
Get them in. Well, so did you see the mural of Kobe, Ruth?
Yes.
Playing Jeopardy.
Yeah.
And Adam the Creator made that. And Adam the Creator is usually pretty good. He rolls with Frank Tank Sinatra. But his tweet was just a heart emoji and a flag and it wasn't really a LOL. I'm playing into it, you know?
Fuck him because he's like, is he tricking me into thinking
that's what I know. He's good enough and smart enough that maybe he's just riding this wave and not being this is a totally normal thing to make, a totally normal mural. I love how they covered up Kobe's score too, by the way. Kobe's money. You know, Ruth Bader Ginsburg had $91,000. Chadwick Boseman had 82. Kobe clearly would have got trounced. By the way, I don't know much about.
I don't know if I agree with that. Kobe's very smart.
Well, he was smart for. I think he was athlete smart.
I mean, he was I
don't know if he's Supreme Court justice smart. What I'm
well,
saying.
no, I think him and Boseman probably would have been battling for the runner-up.
So Chadwick Boseman, that's the soul. I think he's getting a lot of credit that I don't know if he deserves. I mean, he's just an actor, and I know he played influential roles and did a lot, but he. When they both died, and I know it just happened because they died at the same time, basically. But I don't know. We were putting on this Supreme Court justice level. Unless I'm wrong. Maybe was he this activist? Was he?
He was certainly not. I don't know enough about both.
Okay, yeah, maybe
I'm going to distance myself from that take though, just to be safe.
But you know what I mean? Isn't that kind of crazy that he's you can't?
I mean, he definitely
he is canonized. Chadwick Boseman now. He is
I think he knew he's
Sean
been dying.
Connery died too. Are we?
Who?
Sean Connery died. You know,
well,
maybe it's a bad example because he slaps women.
Yeah, he was hitting women.
But did you see that Avengers video where Sean Connery was in it?
Yeah, that was insane.
I think that was just a joke.
Yeah,
but some people were
I think
that
whole thing was a joke.
He was he had his views. He would have been there.
Right.
I think that was a joke, guys. I just think that Chadwick Boseman.
I think
from what I know is, and I know it was the Black Panther is more than just a movie, and he played the role, so I get it. It's important, but I don't know if that was Denzel Washington's kid was his name, or one, another, or if it was Lakeith Stanfield or whatever, would that have been?
But he's known he's been dying for 5 years, so he's for the 5 years
been philanthropic because he's on the way out
and been
and
I guess he hasn't known he's been dying. He's known he's had a difficult form of cancer because I think he did beat it at one point and then got it back and all that stuff. But I think once he had kind of one of those epiphanies where it's because he had cancer before.
I saw him go to the children's hospitals. And he did good things, but there's other people, actors, entertainers, whatever, who also are involved in charities or whatever. I mean, he got immediately elevated to this, Supreme Court justice level. I feel maybe he earned it. I don't know.
I think RBG probably deserves to be on a different level than Kobe and Chadwick Boseman.
Right,
but I think he intentionally took activist type roles and things like that.
Jackie Robinson, Black Panther.
Right.
That, yeah.
I think that
the next one coming out is gonna be a big one.
Yeah, and then he had also. I think he was in what's the one with the Vietnam, the Netflix movie?
The Chicago
Six
7.
Bloods or whatever it is.
The Five Bloods.
The Five Bloods.
Yeah.
He's in that, right? Excuse me. I'm pretty sure he's in that. I think that was like an all black.
Well, whatever. Then I'm just an uninformed white guy. Fuck you.
I also don't know. I'm speaking from. I know he definitely has a run of activists.
He
type
ain't
movies.
no Alex Trebek. Okay, let's put it that way.
Yeah, he was into Five Bloods, and he also played Thurgood Marshall.
Right, yeah. So and then the next one coming up is like I think like a jazz singer who like fights who has to deal with racism.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yeah. Alex Trebek though kicks the bucket. See, I guess.
Oh, before we get to Trebek, I got another thing I want to say.
Yeah.
One of the stupidest things that happened. Did you see Saturday Night Live?
I didn't, and I
You still haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, Kevin.
Yeah, I know.
All you have to watch is the monologue because I think Trebek.
I got up to when he talked about his great grandfather, and I was like, this guy's been bought and sold more than I have.
Oh,
He got
yeah.
no money for that.
But what's happened afterwards is so insane. How like people are quoting what Chappelle was saying in his monologue, like he was speaking in front of Congress. Like
So
news
you know
reports
what's happening
are doing
to
that.
Chappelle? I feel like I've seen this word thrown around about him a lot recently. That he's a communicator. I've heard him be called the greatest communicator on the planet, and I understand why. But I think he would probably be like, I'm a fucking comedian,
Right.
guys. Like that was, and he also, I mean, maybe he wouldn't because he does take on. He knows what he's taking on. He knows he's speaking on important issues, and like I think he does take on like a responsibility of it. But at the end of the day, that's like a stand-up set.
Yeah.
So
He's on a comedy show doing comedy.
Yeah.
And like The Hill, the New York Post,
Yeah.
Washington,
Yeah.
fucking what's Washington? Washington Post.
Yeah.
They're all like quoting it, like he's saying something like
it's a fucking inauguration speech or
right,
something.
Like it was
Yeah.
insane how it was
Yeah.
happening because that was. I laughed out loud a lot in that monologue. It was
Yeah.
fucking. They should have let him cook just a whole hour and a
when he
half.
was talking about the meetings from the town, and he's like, my kids are trying to go to bed, and all they hear is the N word.
Yeah.
From me or from you?
Dude, when
so great.
he had so many different fucking parts where like when my favorite joke was fucking when he talked about Trump getting COVID. And he said, Donald Trump getting COVID was like Freddie Mercury getting AIDS. No one was like, well, how did he get it?
It's about right. It's about right. It was more like, what took you so long? I can't believe it took this long for you to get that shit.
But he was talking. He had like, I think he had like, he's like, I don't get why white people don't wear masks. Like why middle America, why the South doesn't wear masks. He's like, you wear the mask. He's like, you wear the mask at the Klan rally. Wear it at Walmart.
Yeah, I heard that
and like
one.
people
I
were
heard that one.
like, I didn't even think that was particularly funny because it's like, yeah, we like that.
Yeah,
that wasn't.
it's a broad stroke.
It's funny.
You know.
Don't get me wrong, but it's
Yeah.
not like only Chappelle could have said
No,
that.
anybody can say it.
But like they're like, quoting that like, this is what Chappelle, or when he's talking about, he's calling like white people the new N words.
No, I didn't hear that.
he's like,
Oh boy.
he's like giving out N-word lessons to white people because he's like, remember when Reagan said that it was like that black people are on welfare and drug addicts? Takes a drag of a cigarette. What does that sound like now? He's like, us black people just trying to move forward, and these white N-words keep holding us back.
He is unbelievable. He was at Chris Rock, and Jim Carrey were all at the Stand on Saturday night. I don't think Chris Rock and Jim Carrey performed. Chappelle was running through his monologue for the last time, but all three of those guys were there. I mean, that's like you want to. If next time there's comedians in town for Saturday Night Live, you go to the Stand. That's like where they go.
Is that really where they go?
Yeah, I think
that's what Burr went to, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
They for whatever reason, the owners or I think because they're open, they have the outdoors. That's probably why. So they're the only ones open, but they're also like a staple of New York City comedy. But like if you saw, and you know what's funny about that trio there? I think of Jim Carrey being the not by any means like the best, but like that's I can see running into Chappelle or Chris Rock at a comedy club. I just don't think of Carrey as a stand-up anymore.
No,
so like seeing that would be
they act, but they do like,
yeah. Those are stand-up
Has Jim Carrey
comedians
had a
doing
stand-up special in our
acting.
lifetime?
I don't think so. Yeah,
Maybe
or,
not,
no,
like since
lifetime,
we've
but
watched comedy,
since his Ace Ventura, start The Mask, all that. I don't think so, but I guess so. At one point, all
I
these
want
guys
to say
were.
I've seen a Jim Carrey bit in black and white.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think he's done a stand-up special. I think I've seen the black and white stuff.
Right?
though.
I think he has black and white stuff.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because he never had like his own special. He was on.
No, guys. No.
It doesn't make any sense.
Like-
So
like
it must have
when-
been shot in black and
I
white.
was gonna
I've
say
seen
maybe.
it.
Yeah, I
it,
could
was
make a
just
black and
shot,
white.
it was just shot in black and white.
Okay, but it's
yeah,
not
it's
like I mean
so-
television was in color in like the 60s.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like I think you know.
Honestly, like
I mean,
it makes sense
more,
thinking.
I don't know if maybe he didn't do stand up. I just know he did like in living color.
Right.
So he did
He
like
definitely
sketch,
had stand-up.
sketch comedy, but I think you know it's never happened to me. But you hear these stories of like we were at the stand and Louis C.K. came and like it happens and it's rare but it's cool. But to see like a fucking blockbuster movie actor to be like also there, to me that would be like the whoa, this is crazy. Because you can catch Burr, you can catch those guys, but you're not gonna catch, you know, it'd be like seeing Adam Sandler there. You know, it's just like whoa, this is. Did he do stand up?
Sandler?
Because he had that thing on Netflix that was like a pseudo special.
I
It was
would
like-
say like everyone, they've all done stand
all
up a
done it, but
little
they
bit at
didn't-
some
yeah.
Isn't
point.
that where he did his songs and stuff?
Yeah, that's what I mean though. It's like
But-
he, you know, he had like he performed in front of like arenas, but it wasn't like a. But I guess that is stand up. So, but yeah, that next time SNL's got to. I feel like they're gonna do. I hope they do more of that. Like, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe Bill Burr and them are like gave them bad press, like polarizing press. But like, did they notice that
Did you see
the
how many
last two
people-
times they did it were the only two times people talked on Saturday Night Live?
Did you watch? Like I turned it on. Like I turned on Saturday night to watch it.
Yeah.
And like the intro to Saturday Night Live is so impossibly long now. There are
How
like
many people
40 cast
when they're
members.
playing that like sax music
and it's like and Breck Burner and like it was like it was insane
can you,
how long
I
it
mean,
was.
you got to realize at one point it was like Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, like Will Ferrell. I mean, just names and names and
But though,
names
like,
at one point. Eddie Murphy. and now
I'm not
it's
even like saying like they're bad because I don't.
just so many of them.
It's just so.
But that's
many,
probably why there's
yeah.
so many of them. Like, I don't know, just throw the shit against the wall.
Right.
Maybe one of them's gonna get funny. It used to be like,
But also, like, I
there are,
think-
I don't know. They were
Like
probably
was Sandler, I guess because SNL was SNL at that time. So yes, Sandler was Sandler. I think they all went on to become that name
it was the
carries
launching
more
pad.
weight.
It was yeah. But and so yeah, retroactively, I guess if all of a sudden all these people from SNL had movies, you would look back on it that way. But I think we're at the point where it's old enough where young people, like truly like Gen Z people, probably do not get it anymore. That they don't even understand.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
it's
I think
around.
I'm the last. I think
Yeah.
my age is the last that would get because like me and my dad used to stay up to watch it.
Right.
My dad would be like, and that was Will Ferrell. That was fucking Jimmy Fallon. That was like
Yeah.
that era.
Right.
Tina Fey.
But like if you told a young kid now, like Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, and like David Spade used to all be on SNL together, they'd be like, who, and who? Not Adam Sandler.
Sandler,
but,
no.
But
Yeah.
like they wouldn't understand. Like every Saturday night, you could tune in to see like 5 to 6 like awesome people do funny fucking bits. Now it's like maybe once a year you get a good monologue. It's
yeah,
crazy.
It's- I can't
And I
remember
don't.
when
It's not, I don't think like Lorne Michaels like ruined it or anything. I think it's just like.
comedy changed.
Well, yeah, I guess it's like you just don't need to go through SNL
Right.
anymore, right? Yeah, you could just like I have the internet and I don't need this, but
I
they
think-
should incentivize it somehow, pay them more or do something to like make them come back because goddamn, if you had a weekly lineup of that,
I can't remember when we stopped, but like we didn't like there wasn't an active like we're done with this kind of deal because there never is. That's not how the world works.
Yeah.
But we definitely just fell off it.
Yeah.
And it was probably when I was like 13 or 14 maybe. So I don't know what year would that have been. Nah, it might have been later. Maybe we didn't fall off it. Maybe I just went to school and like started
yeah, you
going
just
to
start
parties
go
on
out and
Saturday
shit.
night.
You're not around Saturday night,
But like,
I mean that if because I've also think we've seen like a renaissance, if you will, a resurgence in stand-up comedy because of like Netflix and specials and shit. I think the casual viewer is taking an interest in like actual stand-up comedy more, and so if there was a show where they all were on it, like I think it would be the fucking highest ratings ever. But you'd have to pay these guys, It's like, I could do your show, or I could do like a stand-up special for
Tim
$10 million.
Robinson is like that's what SNL should be.
Yeah,
Right. It's just, and it probably took him a long time to write that, and it's really, but like I think you should leave with Tim Robinson is just 5, 6 episodes of perfect SNL.
Yeah.
Like perfect. There's 1 or 2 misses in the skits, but like it's every episode's about a half hour. There's probably 6, 7 skits. They're all fucking home runs.
great. Yeah.
And it's just Tim Robinson.
Right.
So and he was an SNL cast writer, not cast member. He's an SNL writer. Maybe.
So,
a
and you know
little
what?
bit-
Maybe that's the answer too. Is that it's more about the writers than it is
Yeah.
the actors or the performers. But yeah, I think sadly, like it's officially like SNL's a thing, but they'll never understand like what it once was or how it meant. Like if you look at the track, you had to go there first, or if you went there first.
I wonder because we kind of just always associate like network television and main staple shows with Middle America, and like I wonder if like in Middle America, wherever the fuck people watch SNL regularly, and some of that is probably Northeast. You know, I'm being stereotypical, but is there anyone who knows like? That's like cast member. Like I couldn't tell you a cast member's name.
I mean, Colin.
Colin
Colin
Jost.
Jost
And Michael Che. Yes,
yeah,
but they're also the head writers.
Yeah.
So that's I feel they've been around forever.
Right.
And
like the new up and comers,
the regular group.
That one girl.
There's a guy who plays Putin. He's pretty funny.
But see, that's what I mean. Like I don't know. You know
he's been there forever too.
Yeah.
He's an older guy. I forget. He's funny.
Yeah. Even guys like Daryl Hammond. You know, like he didn't go on to become this like $20 million movie guy, but like I remember his impressions and like all that, you know, and even the skits themselves, like the Sean Connery, Alex Trebek, like the running jokes, Will Ferrell as Robert Goulet, like when you know the skits, not even the names of the people, that's when you know you're fucking cooking, and that was just every week, it was just every fucking Saturday, crazy man. I guess it's more. We should remember like the golden era as the anomaly. And not that like it fell off.
See, like, I don't think so because it went from like it was only started in the '80s, so it went from like the Belushis, the fucking Martin Shorts.
But do you think that maybe that's just like they caught lightning in a bottle for a period of time that was like
probably
and that's it's not that they like wow you ruined it. It's that like wow there was this perfect time where everything came together. But I guess it probably is more like the internet fucked that all up because those guys probably. All your favorites probably would have gone through there anyway. Even the DeStefanos of the world and that kind of shit would have gone through there instead of just being like, I'll go on the internet. All right, we'll get into our top fives in a little bit, our voicemails and interviews. But first, we're gonna do a little Barstool roundup, a little inter-Barstool talk. I know you guys like the behind-the-scenes drama. We did a couple competitions. You didn't fucking subscribe, so I did it. So subscribe, so there's no more blood on your hands.
It was hard to hold my breath for that long.
You absolutely didn't have to hold your breath.
I didn't want
you really committed. You committed to the part. That was a method acting.
It also
there.
wasn't that long. I think I just have COVID.
Let's see how long. Let's see who can hold their breath the longest. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So let's start with highway robbery in the Feed Willie competition. Willie is in an eating competition where everybody at Barstool pairs off and cooks for him, and then he is the judge and decides who was the best cook. Round one,
as I was writing the blog, it hit me that Feed Willie is like Free Willy.
Oh, that just hit me right now.
Yeah, okay. So I'm not an idiot. As I was typing Feed Willy.
As you said it, I was like, well, it must be some double entendre, and it just came to my brain at the last possible second.
And then I had to
Free Willy.
I had to clarify in a parenthetical. If that wasn't the intention, I am not calling Willie Colon fat. I'm not calling Willie Colon a whale.
The logo should be him standing with a fucking whale, or maybe
with
Willie
Kraken.
jumping.
What about with a
Kraken?
Kraken?
There you go. Is that what they did?
No,
that's what they should do because it was for Kraken rum.
Consult me, please. Thank you.
Delicious double bacon cheeseburger. What's it called recipe with this maple rum glazed bacon where I whipped up some maple sugar, some maple syrup, and some dark Kraken rum. I mean, it was phenomenal. And then double cheeseburger. So Fights whips up these two fucking massive juicy burgers, and we had a leg up on Casey versus Marty because like we won the competition. Whatever, they were like the underdog.
Can I say something about this as well? I prefer cheeseburger clubs.
On the bread, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I don't
like the
prefer
big fancy
that.
buns on
I don't prefer that,
burgers.
but the buns that we had were not. They were like on the brioche bun, and I grabbed it. It was like a stale bun.
Yeah, it was.
I was like, in this case, some soft white bread might actually be better. So yeah, I get what you're saying, but I mean, we blew it out of the water. The presentation was amazing. I guess I shouldn't have put the fries in there. I honestly thought of like the fries as like a garnish. I didn't think we were being fucking judged on the fries. I wouldn't have put them in at all.
Freezer. Right.
Yeah, and then also he said our fries were cold and theirs were not. They were in the same fucking oven. So I don't know how that was. So whatever, the fries, whatever. Willie takes a bite of our double cheeseburger, which by the way, if I was eating, I would not have liked how big that was. I hate like monster burgers.
Agreed.
I can't. I want like even like at Five Guys, I like the single patty. I like thin burgers.
Yep.
But Willie grabs it, and it was like when Andre the Giant holds a can of beer. It looked like a slider.
It looked like it was a White Castle burger.
Yeah, it looked like a White Castle slider in Willie's arms. So I'm like, okay, whatever. It's not too big anymore. I'm not worried about that. And then he takes a bite, and I like my shit like medium. That's like it. I don't really dabble with the uncooked. Like I grew up kind of like white trash Irish Catholic. Like we overcook our London broil, and like that's how we roll. And so I was like, oh no, is that gonna be like he owns a restaurant? He's like he eats food with large. He's rich. Like he might be one of these guys who eats shit like raw, like rare. Maybe
Now to be clear, so what happened was after the match. We were hungry. I think it was around noon. It was lunchtime-ish. Mm-hmm. We were hungry. We had leftover meat. We were like, let's just fucking cook up a burger. We'll split it.
Yeah.
And then we got it on the stove for about 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And they were like, we need to
clean
the space. So we're like, fuck it. We'll put it on the burger. Have a bite. I took a bite. It was raw. It was raw. And I turned it, and Willie said, that's the way I like my shit.
So he already said he likes undercooked or not heavily cooked burgers. Takes a bite of our burger, and he's like.
He spits it out.
Yeah, he's like, this is raw. And I kind of started laughing, being like, what? And like, no, it's not. I'm like, are you doing a bit here? And then he's like, yeah, this is like not cooked. And I look off camera at one point, and I go, oh, all right, I see what they're doing here. Because it was so preposterous that Willie would try to tell people that was undercooked that I thought they wanted Casey and Marty to win for some reason. I thought they wanted an underdog to win. I truly, genuinely, in my brain was
also,
like,
I don't understand how we became we became the favorite.
Yeah, because we beat them in the first. They were so dysfunctional when they were cooking. Marty wasn't doing anything. Yeah. We had this beautiful. It looked nice.
It was so like our burger was like an Instagram girl.
I took pictures in portrait mode, and I was like, this looks like a. It foodie.
Looked sexy.
Yeah.
I will be honest. If Willie's, because we both ate the burger after Willie
did
it. It was meh.
Yeah,
it was.
If he said that burger tastes better than this burger, it's like okay, that's a personal preference thing.
But it is cooked.
But he said it's raw, and I'm like, we're looking at it. It's like again, that's not a. If he said like it's too undercooked for my liking, I would be like, I'd still question it. But he said like it's raw, and I was like, look, no, it's not. It's like someone telling you the sky's yellow. Right. It's like it's just definitively not. So I start being like, oh, this is like a bit that they must be like, we can't have fights in KFC win for whatever reason. So like give them that's how silly it was. I was like, there must be something else going on here because this man is telling me it's undercooked when it's like a gray burger. It was like pink. It was like the normal amount of pink. It was actually like the perfect burger. Yeah. As far as the cook, like how to cook it. And then afterwards, like no cameras on. He's like, yeah, the bacon was good. Like, just the burger. And I was like, oh, so you're really not fucking around. Like, what is going on? Robbery, bro.
I get
Robbery.
People like, there's a difference between I would have liked it cooked more, which is crazy despite the fact that I just showed you a red burger minutes before and you're like, that's the way I like my burger cooked.
Yeah.
But like you wanted it cooked a little more versus
this
it's
is
raw.
Not
like,
cooked. Yeah.
I prefer a puck. Fine. Some people like that. I think it's crazy. I think it's ludicrous.
Right.
But some people like a hockey puck. Willie doesn't. He told me he didn't like that. He had said he likes it fucking red. We gave it to you a thin line of pink, lot of gray on the outside.
Perfect for me.
Burger.
For me, actually, most people would say that that's like overcooked.
Yeah,
and you're ruining a good burger.
I would say it's overcooked.
Yeah. So one of the all-time highway robberies here at Barstool Sports. I mean, not the most prestigious. It's not like this long-running thing. It's just this new series, Feed Willie. But as far as like rulings go. Never have I been robbed more than that. Because it was just a blatant, it was like we did a math challenge. I said 2 + 2 is 4, and they told me no. It's just like, this is just legitimate fact here. So, fuck off, Willie. Fuck off, Feed Willie. On to another large gentleman who we competed against, Frank the Tank, in our Jenga tournament. A must-win for us. We had lost our first two, both times to Rudy and Billy. And so at this point, we need to rattle off at least 3 in a row. We probably need to go 4 and 2. So we need to be undefeated from here on out to move on to the knockout round to even be in a chance to win the $10,000 in Jenga. And we were playing Nick Tarani, Francis Fleming, Frank the Tank. I will never forgive Nick Tarani for this bit. I will never forgive him for this joke because he is an agent of chaos. How many times have I said I don't want to do content with these guys anymore because they just fuck with me too much, man. It's always Nick and KB just running circles around the old guy. And today we're playing Frank the Tank. Now, let me just set the scene for who I am competing against today. Earlier in the day, It's 2:30. I run out of the studio, the radio studio, to go to the bathroom in between my 3-minute break on Sirius XM, commercial break. And I walk into the bathroom, and as I'm walking in, Frank the Tank is sauntering the opposite direction. He's going to the bathroom.
Is a good way to describe
That's what he does, right? He just floats. It really does look like he's an animal floating through the sea. And as we walk in, this is on me. I decided to make small talk because I'm uncomfortable around him, and I don't know how to interact with him because he's from a different planet. So I say, Frank, we got a big Jenga match coming up. Yes, we do. And then we're both walking in together. Now we're inside, and as we're splitting off to our respective, I'm going to the urinal. He goes into the stall. I say, hey, do you really think that's Steve Cohen's Twitter account? That's the big hubbub in the Mets world right now, is whether or not our new owner is actually on Twitter or if someone's running the account for him. I hear Frank start to answer me, and I hear his buckle undo, and then I hear his belt slap onto the ground. I'm like, oh boy, Frank's pooping. And then as I'm peeing, he starts talking, and he's like, yeah, I just don't know if that's his account. And he lets out this tugboat fart. I mean, I felt the tiles on the walls shaking. I think it registered on the Richter scale. It was like that little. Wasn't there an earthquake in Providence over the weekend or something like that?
No, it was in Bristol County, which is where Fall River.
I mean, it was like a 4 point something.
Yeah.
This was a 5 point something on the Richter scale. Frank, there were birds flying out of trees.
Lawn furniture falling over.
Yes, there were tipped over chairs everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny. Frank just let the biggest fart ever. And I'm still peeing. And then I hear him I just can't imagine it's. And it's like kerplunk. I just can't imagine he's using that Twitter account. Hey, at least somebody's going to be paying attention, though.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Swear to God, Frank the Tank just pooping while
what
he has a conversation
the
with me.
fuck is wrong with people?
Just pooping while he talks to me.
You can't do that. It's just so it's it's unspoken. I think it's in the Constitution, which we're mostly anti-Constitution, except for some parts of it are pretty good. And the part that says when you're in the bathroom with someone, just focus on your fucking self.
That's why. And now it is my fault for starting the small talk, but I thought we could rely on good old logic dictating. Well, while I'm trying to push poop out, I won't talk.
It's simple. It's when you go into the bathroom, if you're already, here are the rules of the bathroom. They're very, very easy. Yes, I understand you have a slight blame here. I don't blame you that much because someone should just fucking know. Mm-hmm. Now, you're making conversation going into a bathroom, right? That's normal.
Yeah.
And then
once you're in there,
then it's fucking everything done.
All done.
But if you are in the bathroom, in a stall, when someone comes in to pee, and you're done, too bad. You're still pooping until that person leaves.
Right.
You don't come out while someone else is in there.
No, you wait it out. That guy could wash his hands for the next 20 minutes, whatever. You gotta wait.
You don't make any noise. You don't poop while they're in there.
Right. Nope.
Even if you're not done,
you
you're
hold
still
it.
pooping,
You just sit there. And
you fucking hold it. You don't let out farts.
No.
I don't want to hear farts echoing off the toilet bowl.
I don't want to hear the kerplunk of the
I don't want to hear a kerplunk. You just you sit there. Just like everything in the world, once you get into a room, you try your best to become invisible.
Mm-hmm. Blend in. Now, I can understand that's not the easiest for Frank Fleming. But in that moment, he was behind closed doors, and he had every ability to just hold off on the conversation. And I quickly said, okay, Frank, sounds good. See you later. And I ran out of there back to the studio. So that was my interaction prior to Jenga. And then we are facing Frank. And, I mean, I've never been in more of a lose-lose than this situation. The best case scenario is me and Feidelberg whoop on Frank the Tank in any sort of competition. That doesn't go over well because, let's be honest, the optics are just not great there. If me and Fights are dunking on Frank the Tank in anything from Jenga to sports
Frank's
to anything.
He's like a protected class. He's like an endangered species where it's just you can't really say.
You gotta handle it delicately.
Frank's t-shirt was soaking wet. I was scared to ask why because I thought people might say I was bullying him.
Yes.
I was curious.
We've seen it before.
Frank, why is your t-shirt soaking wet?
There was that patch of
just his whole stomach.
I thought it was a shadow at first, and then it was.
I didn't get to ask him why.
Hey, listen. He had a wet tummy. What do you want to do? Sometimes you get a wet tummy. And then you know what? We showed a lot of couth. Showed a lot of class because Frank was about as dirty of a competitor as you can get, screaming into our ears while we tried to play Jenga. It wasn't even that it was getting into my head. It was that he was physically getting into my head with the sound. It was into my brain. This man is just screaming in my ears. And I got to hand it to him. Jenga is a game of skill. It's also a huge game of luck, but you do have to have some, soft touch and some understanding. And I could have seen Frank just like rolling in there like a bull in a china shop. And he made it to like 30-something blocks with us. He was going block for block. There was one point, my second to last round, I was like, it's a wrap. Like I pulled one out and I was like, I know for a fact there's like no blocks left that are going to be an easy pull. And he found one. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then it came back around to me and I pulled another one like I thought I was fucked. And I swear to God, if Frank pulled that one out, I would have just kicked the tower over. If Frank found a way to push it one more round, I would have just knocked it over and said, I'm not fucking playing anymore. But lo and behold, we did in fact advance over pubes too. And then, you know what? When we go back to like our desks, I looked at Nick, and the whole match, I kept saying, I'll never forgive you for this. I'll never fucking forgive you for this little bit. Wait, no, it's a bit that Nick's doing. And he just goes, oh, no, don't worry, dude. You look totally cool beating him. You guys look totally cool beating Frank the Tank. Don't worry. You bastard. You son of a bitch. So we are now 1-2. We need to rattle off 3 in a row. We have not played Ronan and Big Cat yet. Is there anybody else in our division?
No,
that's it. So we'll see each of them twice, right? Or yeah.
See them 2 more
we'll
times.
See them twice, and we'll see Nick and Frank, or Nick and whoever if he cuts him, right? Or you only get cut after pool play.
No, you can get cut. I don't believe you can cut after pool play.
Got it.
I think you can cut
during.
pool play.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple more, and I think if we go undefeated, we'll be 4-2. That should be enough to at least hopefully get in, or maybe force a tie break. I don't know. If Rudy and Billy are in the top at all, we're fucked because they own a huge tiebreaker over us.
Yeah.
So, but we're still alive. But most importantly, we kept our dignity and I guess our dignity. I don't know.
It was a definite lose-lose. I don't think we have our dignity.
No, none at all. But hey, that's the inner workings here at Barstool right now. Frank, I mean, you can't talk white poop, man.
You just can't. It's a simple bathroom rule.
Just can't do it. All right. Top 5 moments of Alex Trebek, brought to you by Harry's. Harry's is back in our life. Harry's was one of the original OG either Mail Time or KFC radio sponsors back when we were just a little fledgling podcast. Harry's got down with us, and it's fun to see them come back around. It's like running into an old ex, you know? It's like, hey, remember we had that thing that one summer, and now we're back in it. Maybe this time it's a little more than just a fling. Maybe it's something serious. We're all grown up now. Harry's is a full-blown monster company. We're a big-time podcast, and we're out here trying to make sure that our readers and listeners have a nice razor, and get a nice close shave. Right now, you can get the Harry's trial set for just $5 when you go to harrys.com/KFC. What does that include? You get a razor featuring new sharper blades, 5 of them, with a weighted ergonomic handle. It's got some nice weight to it. It's not like one of these flimsy little what's it called? Disposable ones.
The first one I ever shaved with it. I believe that's what my dad still uses.
Yeah?
Like the blue Bics.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I ever shaved with.
That fucking hurts,
and
man.
it was like, you just felt like you could feel I'm getting a bad shave.
Because you also, with those, are so light that you have to like push. And this is like, it's got heavy weight to it, so it kind of like gravity does the work for you. And it comes with the foaming shave gel with aloe and a travel cover to protect your blades when you're on the go and throw it in your bag. So you get the 5-blade razor with the nice handle, the foaming shave gel with aloe, and the cover for just $5 when you go to harrys.com/KFC. The sharpest shave ever. They haven't been raising prices, and they aren't going to stop now. Their blades are so sharp that guys who are shaving like 4 times a week are saying that their 8th shave is just as smooth as their first shave. So these blades last a long time, and you're going to get a nice, close, sharp shave that it's going to be smooth glide, low price, convenient, all delivered to your door. It's the perfect company. It's one of those things you absolutely need. It's like a necessity in life, so why not just have it delivered right to your door, and you don't have to go out to the store and get them, and you get a high-quality shave for a low cost. That's harrys.com/KFC. Ooh, for just $5. Excuse me. Sorry, I just said 5 again, didn't I? For $3.
Oh, yes, right.
For some reason, I just read the number 3 as 5, like 4 times in a row. You can get this set for, $3 is $0.
Even $5 is $0, but $3 is they're paying you to take.
Anytime you can, like single dollar bills at this point, like I can set aside 3 single dollar bills and I can get this entire razor set. That's insanity. Mm-hmm. That means like $1 for the blade, $1 for the handle, $1 for the shaving gel. Crazy deal.
I feel like shaving gel is like $40.
I was gonna say that alone.
Isn't it locked up? Aren't blades locked up? Like, just get it delivered to your house. It's much fucking easier.
This shit's like $40 at CVS. You open the thing, it goes boop 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 boop. It's like this guy's stealing these really expensive blades. $3 right now when you go to harrys.com/KFC. Alex Trebek died this weekend. Aside from my father, he's probably the most important male figure in my life.
Trebek?
I wish I was kidding.
I was never a humongous Jeopardy fan. I didn't dislike the show, obviously, but I wasn't a nightly guy such as yourself. But my parents are, so as a kid, I was more of a nightly guy. I kind of got out of it. And I said this about Trebek in a tweet this weekend, and because I probably started watching it with them in middle school. You know, it wasn't like a family thing, like everyone gathered around, but it was on a lot.
That's kind of what mine was like. You know, it was definitely not like, hey, kids, we're watching Jeopardy. It was like, Dad's watching TV. He's got control of the remote. We're all sitting in the living room. We're all going to watch Jeopardy.
Yeah. And it was, I said that, because again, it's probably middle school. And it is so hard to make a middle school age child think that like being smart and learning and knowing things are cool.
It's cool.
And
yes, I agree.
And Trebek made it cool.
And more importantly,
Trebek made being smart cool. That's one of the most difficult things to do in the world.
And not even being cool, he somehow took the most smug position in the world and made it like nice and relatable.
Yeah.
Like this is Jeopardy. We're not one of the fun game shows. You're not doing cool stuff. You're not winning. Like it's not the best prizes. It's not the best challenges. You know, everybody loves the wheel in Wheel of Fortune. In Price is Right.
He didn't need any pizzazz.
It was just straight. He is just built on his persona, his character, his aura.
Yeah,
you know,
there's zero flash to Jeopardy.
That should
just
be
Trebek that sells it.
Meat and potatoes, man, and that should be like, you know, almost anybody else who's like a French Canadian who's like, I'm smarter than you. You'd be like, fuck this guy. But Alex Trebek made it like, yeah, man.
You felt comfortable. It was great comfort. Like we talk about The Office and all these shows being comfort TV. There is nothing more comfortable than and that's the nicest thing you can say about a host.
I've never done this, but I heard you guys have been doing Jeopardy on Netflix.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, that's a great idea. I always watch it, 7:00, and I'm 7 p.m. It's the real OG Jeopardy. I don't give a fuck about you 7:30 crowd. 7 p.m. first. You can do that little little bitch boy Sajak with his little fucking idiot Midwest Wheel of Fortune nonsense for the dessert. The entree, 7 p.m. Jeopardy. I did it like nightly, so I never thought about binging them. But the idea of just like you probably get smart doing that.
When we're like cooking dinner and stuff, we just have it.
Yeah, it's comforting, but it's also like, you pick up some tidbits, you pick up some information. I've always said when you can answer a Final Jeopardy, it's like once every like decade. I've probably done it maybe 10 times my whole life. I mean, that feels like that sets my week up. I'm like, I just got Final Jeopardy right. I'm good for like a month. Or if you get a daily double, or when you get a sports category and they don't know any of them and you rattle all of them off. Like, I'm smarter than all you fucking morons. Yeah. But I mean, that game is run and driven by Trebek. We'll never be the same without him. So today we're going to do top 5 Trebek moments.
Okay. My number 1 is one that was very viral over the weekend. And it was when, I forget the kid's name. I believe he's a Brown student, maybe. I forget, but he's a younger kid. And he did not know Final Jeopardy, or he just took a dive. I don't know. And he just put "We Love You, Alex" for 1995. Now, there are 2 things about this. One, the way Trebek cried was the best old man dad cry ever, where he just like smacks himself in the hand with the card. And he's like, let's see how much it costs you. And now I do have a major problem with why the kid fucking gave 1995. He had like $2,000 left. I think he had $5 left at the end.
Yeah.
Why he wagered 1995, I do not understand, and it bothers me. Like, why didn't you do like 1980? Because I believe that's when he started doing Jeopardy. Or like do the year he was born, or do There might be significance to it that I just don't know. But the fact that I didn't know what 1995 meant bothers me.
You crazy.
Yeah, it's like, why did you wager 1995? Because maybe if you only had like $400 left and you kind of just got to wager whatever, but like you had enough to wager a relevant amount, and
you are angry. like it has nothing to do with the very heartfelt moment with Trebek, like losing his life and getting thanked. Why did you wager 1995?
It doesn't make any sense to me. Like it's like when you don't get something, you lash out.
But
and
I mean, maybe it was the year he was born. He was a kid, right? Maybe it was like a college tournament or something.
It would have to be very. Yeah, no, I guess it must have been recent because it was, he was sick. But
I guarantee you are the only person who thought about that with this clip.
Oh,
in the whole world.
It irked me,
in
Kevin.
the whole fucking
It was
world.
so frustrating. I watched it a million times this weekend because, again, everyone posted it this weekend. And I just kept being like, why did he wager 1995? What is the fucking significance?
God, I hate your guts.
But the way Trebek cried was fucking beautiful.
Yeah, he was trying to get through it, trying not to put the he was like keeping it moving with his job, I'll go back I'm gonna go back to where it started. His 1984 debut, where Alex Trebek he's just a black man. Have you seen it?
No, I don't think
it's
so.
crazy. He is in the full blown Mike Tirico. Like when Mike Tirico was like, I'm not black, I was like, wait, what? This is almost the opposite of it. He looks like, forget about was he invited to the cookout. He might be hosting the cookout. Look at this. Black Twitter flips over vintage image of, I mean, that's a black man. He's got like a fro Jerry curl looking, and he's looking dark. I mean,
he's Jewish. No, he's not Jewish. He's Canadian.
He's French Canadian. I would never look at that man and be like, yeah, that's a white Canadian guy. So,
but then you also have the whitest picture of all time.
Look, I just love this shit of like LOL at this beautiful African American man.
I guess this isn't. I guess he's not. Like here, he just looks like he's out of.
Oh my god!
Like he's out of fucking.
He almost looks like Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I can see that.
But yeah, I mean, look at that man. That's a black man. What is he can get it for 2,000? Look, he looks exactly like Lionel Richie.
Yep,
it's crazy. So yeah, I'll take it all the way back to where it all first started, 1984.
Okay, number 2, I am going to go when he went on Celebrity Jeopardy, because we got to have a little homage to Celebrity Jeopardy here.
Yep.
And when he went on with Trebek and Sean Connery, which were, when I was a kid, we were talking about SNL a little bit earlier, and my dad and I would always watch it. I would laugh like a fucking son of a bitch every single time.
That's gonna have to be my pick. I mean, the influence, the like, without him, there is no SNL Jeopardy.
Yeah. And it was like I was a kid.
Trebek.
I was young, and actually, in rewatching those, I actually don't think Daryl Hammond's Connery's very good.
No,
but I thought
it's
so
just very
funny.
basic. He just did a Scotsman accent,
Oh, he talks like this, Trebek. Right? It's like okay, like, it's like fucking.
But when Will Ferrell every time, like when he was like my favorite one is when the Final Jeopardy is just pick a number, any number. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
And he writes a V.
V.
And he's like, despite your best efforts to like mess with me, that is in fact a number. What did you wager? Suck it, Trebek. Or like, that's what your mother said. Or I mean,
no, the best one. I guess this isn't really Trebek based because what's Jeopardy based? But when Connery would read the like the words differently.
The rapist.
The rapist. I'll take the rapist for 400. I'll take
swole.
I'll take whore ads, and it's like it's called Who Reads. There was
I love it, but then it tied
it says let it snow. It's a French phrase, Trebek. You go to the good day, madam. Let tits now.
See, I love too though that it ties back to Trebek. So I guess my official pick could be the moment where during the little interviews, somebody brought up Sean Connery and he was like, or I think he brought up SNL and he was like, oh yeah, I don't watch that because if anybody who's frequented Saturday Night Live knows exactly why. Like he was very aware of it and like played into the joke that he like knows he gets made fun of. So it was like,
see, Daryl Hammond actually had a tweet being like, he told me he loves it.
Yeah, he did. No, I mean, like, in a very playful way.
Oh, okay,
he was like, it was a total joke, but he was like acknowledging on the air that like they did it. So yeah, I mean, without that to me is one of the most memorable skits ever, and it's all based. It's Connery, of course, too, and you can't forget about Norm doing Turd Ferguson doing Burt Reynolds. It's funny because it's a bigger hat. It's bigger than a usual hat size. So yeah, Jeopardy.
It's a frozen cat.
Yeah. It's funny because it's a cat that's frozen. I'm gonna go with something of his that I feel like is like it was almost like a catchphrase in a way, even though it's nothing memorable. The way that Alex would go, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Like when you got your daily double wrong, or when it was a bad answer and he was trying to like be polite about it, but it was like, boy, that really sucked. And he was just like, no. And it was kind of smug and kind of condescending because he's kind of like, yo, there's a level here that you got to keep up on my set here, Merv Griffin's set. That was really fucking dumb, but also I'm not going to like shit on you. So, yeah, I'll like that. Oh no. That's the perfect tinge of smugness in him.
Okay, my number 3 is his pronunciation of words, but in particular the way he pronounced genre. Dude. He every time he says genre, it fucking.
Did you see the supercut
of genre?
Oh, it's
yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
It is so goddamn
what
amazing.
genre of music is this?
Oh, it's so good, man. It is. It's like that again is something when his little French Canadian accent came out. Anybody else who pronounces genre, I'd be like, fuck you, dude. But Alex does it, and it's just like, yeah, man, genre. He changed that pronunciation in my mind. To me, that's like, yeah.
In fact, I'll probably never say it another way.
Yeah, genre.
What genre?
Genre. Again, that was almost like the Black Twitter coming out. Genre. All right, my pick. I have to imagine that the Jeopardy writers did this one on purpose. But when they had an entire category for rap lyrics, where that just required Alex Trebek to rap every single clue. I mean, I think he did T.I., he did Lil Wayne. When they made him do Designer and he was just like, panda, 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 panda. I mean, you know he had to like look off at the judges, whoever, and be like, fuck you guys. What is this shit about? But yeah, I think it was like Wheezy, T.I., a couple other like hardcore rappers. And I mean, he's a dude too. I bet you all rappers like respect him. Like he has clout in the rap game, you know? So yeah, Trebek spitting bars is something I never thought we'd see. Thank you to the Jeopardy producers who made that one happen.
Okay, number 4, when he called that girl a loser. And I don't remember exactly. Here was the beauty of it, and it's like the perfect beauty of Trebek, is because like right away, I forget the first thing she said, but she said something where your gut went loser. But he let her dig her own grave. And continued to list the reasons why she's a loser. And then
just give her enough rope to
waited until we had all the information to it was indisputable to where you could call a woman a loser on national television and it wasn't rude.
And he's like, so in other words, he was almost like, let me give the too long don't read for this terrible story. So in other words, losers. Beautiful.
Like, it was like, because if you interrupt, like, oh, that's kind of loser. People are like, oh, he's kind of being a dick. But it was perfectly Trebek to let her go on and on and on and make it irrefutable. There is no doubt in anyone's mind. Trebek is now just speaking what we all knew from Jump Street.
Yeah, he's a man of the people despite being like the elitist. Right. He's like, yeah, I know what y'all are thinking at home. Losers. All right, my number 5 moment. It is for the people like us. I mentioned it earlier when they can't get sports questions right. And there was one category relatively recently where the entire panel got every single question wrong. I think it was an NFL category. And he just kind of stopped and was like, oh, so you guys are big football fans, huh? And just, I mean, again, saying exactly what everyone's thinking. Just shut down these 3 people, probably like the smartest, top 0.001%. And he's just like, you fucking clowns. Because I get the feeling that Alex would be a pretty well-rounded contestant. Like sure. He knows the sports. He knows he could do the rap. He knows he's not just a egghead nerd like they are. So that little dig, like, oh, so you guys are big football fans, huh? Last up.
All right, my number 5 is when Trebek chased down a burglar from his hotel room. Because I, as someone who's lived a situation like this, wouldn't do it.
You pussied out.
Despite the fact that he's probably, I think he was in 2011, so he's like a 71-year-old man.
Yeah.
At that time, he got up and decided to fight for his life.
For like, I mean, they said, I read here that it was $650 and a bracelet. It's like, you're Trebek, dude. You probably makes like $50 million a year.
There's no chance I fight anyone. Not even a strange woman in my room for $650.
Who later claimed to be a prostitute, by the way. She said, I wasn't robbing anybody. I was there fucking. He said,
why was she in his room? He was there with his wife.
She says he wasn't. That she was never in the room. So I think she was lying. I rushed down the hall after this woman. I didn't see her when I got back to the elevator bank, but a few seconds later, she came out of the little anteroom where the ice machine was. I said, what were you doing in our room? She said, I wasn't in your room. I said, yes, you were. I saw you. She said, no, I wasn't. I said, well, let's let the security decide what happened. I went to the phones in the hallway next to our elevator. She said, oh, and took off. I'm in a t-shirt and underwear. I'm running down the hallway. All of a sudden, I heard a click, and I collapsed. Immediately, I had severed my Achilles. I struggled to my feet and got back to the phone because I had contacted security just before she took off. I got back to security and described her, and then they found her. I mean, popping your Achilles.
That's why. Was it worth $650?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Just roll over in
But
bed.
it's worth having that moment. I mean, he transcended. He wasn't just on Merv Griffin's set. He was a fucking legend on and off that set. He's like a goddamn crime fighter. Shit. All right, my last one here. I guess more. I was gonna say like the way he like ran the Tournament of Champions, because anytime you think about like Ken Jennings and Brad Rutter and Roger Craig and James Holtzhauer, all those guys, like he was the one who like made that all dramatic and hosted it. I mean, those were more about those guys, though. I guess as far as like his actual performance, the fact that he worked until he was fucking dead. I mean, he was recording like last week. He was doing episodes. I don't know how he died. Like I don't know how he. I figured we were gonna eventually be like, you know, I worked as long as I could, but it's time for me to like go on hospice and bed care, bed rest, whatever. And I guess, you know, I just had a bad night over the weekend or something and succumbed to it all because he was working like as of last week. They said his last episode, I believe I heard his last episode is going to air on Christmas Eve. So that's going to be fucking, I will be a puddle. I will be an absolute.
That's absurd.
Goddamn puddle. December 24th, I think. Don't hold me to that, but I believe I saw that. So working up until, I honestly think that's what's going to make his legacy so different too, like so much higher. Like Bob Barker probably has like the other claim to be like the best and most memorable game show host, but he retired and he's been gone for so long. But I mean, I feel like if he had died on the job, you know, you get like, you know, that much higher. So Alex was like, fuck it, I got a job to do, doing like his. I mean, really, wouldn't you be like, Alex, you've done like 50,000 episodes, like just go spend time with your family, relax, be well,
like doing it.
And he was like, nope, I got a gig, man. So Trebek working up until the very last minute. He's an absolute legend of life. A guy that I watched every single day, pretty much, almost literally. You know, there's some days I would miss Jeopardy, but for the most part, every single day of my life.
Even now, you still watch it every day?
Yeah, like I'll at least catch like, I mean, it depends, you know, 7:00 bedtime shit, but if I can, that's always. Baseball season is a little like touch and go because it's a 7:00 start, but for the most part, since I was like old enough to watch TV, it was either my dad watching it or then me. I was texting with my two buddies, like the last two guys I lived with before moving in with Caitlin, and they were like, he was our fourth roommate on 89th Street. Like we watched and talked about like nothing but Trebek. So I mean, a weird like, you know, your sports figures that you watch a lot, but they eventually retire. Your favorite actors, like eventually they stop. Like Trebek, he started in 84. I was born in 85. Did it literally my entire life. So R.I.P. to a legend. Let's get into our voicemails now. They are brought to you by... Voicemails are brought to you by Crossrope. Johnny Crossrope. The kid is jumping rope and fucking throwing hands and flexing on the haters because Crossrope has been the only thing that's...
7 days in a row right now.
7 days.
In the middle of the November Knockout Challenge. On the app, they have like basically challenges.
Yeah.
I'm in the midst of the November Knockout Challenge. I'll tell you what, today's workout was pretty difficult.
Was it?
I usually do it in the afternoon or the evening when I get home from work. And today we had to get here early, and I just did it. I woke up early to do it, and I was just like, right away, I was like, oh, this is not the workout I needed.
In the morning is so envious, though. Like, I'm so envious of people who get up and do it. Because when you're done with the morning workout, and then it's like, man, like, whatever happens today, I have like, you know when people say make your bed because you've accomplished something? I'm like, fuck you.
I've been making my bed, too.
If you're patting yourself on the back because you're making your bed, fuck you. If you get up and do a workout, though, and it's like 7 a.m. or whenever you get up, it doesn't even have to be how early it is. But if the first thing you do is like, well, from here on out, I've burned all these calories, and you could just put it all back on. Maybe that means you eat a fat lunch with some big dessert, but whatever. Then you break even. Either way, working out in the morning is like, I'm so jealous of the people. Morning people, man, your whole life's better.
Yeah,
whole fucking
I
life
agree.
is like.
Well, I don't know about that.
Think about it. Yes, it is. When you can get up and work out, or you just get up and you're out, like the people like to read the paper, you go for a walk, I don't know, whatever. It's like that's peaceful in the morning. I mean, it's all depends. Like normal work people got to get up and go. I guess so if you have the luxury to like get up and either work out. Yeah, we definitely do. I just don't. I just don't do it.
You said making the bed though. I've run into quite a predicament, and it's starting to get to me. Because I don't know, you got to make the bed when you're living with someone.
Yeah, well, I disagree, but okay.
And
it's also why I'm divorced.
She always gets up first. She's like a morning person,
right?
So then I'm the last one in bed who has to make the bed, the last person out. I might start getting out of bed early.
Just to not make it.
Just to not make it.
Wow, you're like, yo, babe, what'd you set your alarm for? Like 7 a.m., 6:59, here it comes.
It's been something I've considered.
Wow.
I
mean, that's good of you, and that's a good thing to like keep everybody happy when you first move in. I never really thought of like you have to make the bed because you're living with somebody else.
For some reason I never made it when I lived alone. I just think that like
yeah, that's good. I mean, I remember like my ex-wife hated that I didn't make the bed. And maybe I should have made the bed. I'm a notorious not a bed maker. Maybe it would have, and she was, and it was always like, well, fuck, I guess I have to make it again. But I was the king of like, but you make it like you have such a special way that you do it. You do
I don't do it very well.
Yeah,
I do it
when
like,
chicks make beds. It's like.
Right.
It's like military shit, you know?
It's like full wrapping a present.
Yeah, yeah. I can do that.
Yeah.
Now listen, I can make the bed. I just like choose not to, you know? Just don't think it's worth it. But hey, literally, what do I know? But the Crossrope, man, 7 days in. I mean, when you were in quarantine and you hit like a couple months in, you were in the best shape I've seen you in a while. So they got the app, like you said, where you can follow along, where they have different workouts, different names
so
for
easy.
it.
I honestly, of all our sponsors, this is maybe the one I recommend the most. It's 17 to 22 minutes per day.
Dude, especially right now. If your gym's not open or you're not comfortable going anywhere, 17 minutes and you work out your cardio, you work out, it's muscular, it's cardio.
So
it's
much more muscular than you thought it was until you do it and you're like, my biceps are sore. Why? I just jumped rope yesterday.
Well, because they have the interchangeable ropes with the different weights, so you can do it for speed, you can do it for weight. It's all highly durable,
and
so it's like
fun.
quality.
Like it's not like just stand like my dad's a big jump roper, so like I've always jumped rope my life. I'm actually quite good at it. But he just jumps rope for like 20 minutes to a half hour. Mm-hmm. Whereas this is like 45 seconds of this. Okay, now do like push-ups for 20 seconds. And then and you get breaks in there too. It's fucking
it says it works your core, your back, your shoulders, your arms, your glutes, and more. No fluff, just a fun, effective workout. You can jump in as a beginner. You can swap the weights in and out as you get stronger. Work out every single part of your body, including getting a cardio workout as well. And you can do the Get Lean fitness. You can do the Get Lean program. You can do the Get Strong program, depending on what your goals are.
I don't know.
Or you can get
do
both.
The monthly challenges.
You can get the Get Fit bundle, which is everything, the lean and strong.
Oh yes. Okay, we're talking about some different things. Yeah, you're right.
So 60-day risk-free money-back guarantee right now. When you go to crossrope.com/KFC, you can get $40 off the Get Fit bundle. So that's where you get the lean and the strong all together. It's crossrope.com/KFC for $40 off the Get Fit bundle.
Yo, what's up, KFC fights? It's the dyslexic KFC here. Got a quick question for you. I know you, KFC. I know you said you don't use dating apps, but if you did, what would be your go-to gift? Like, for instance, I've been using the Frank Reynolds, can I offer you an egg in this trying time? It's not working, but I know once it works, it's going to be a
true
banger,
love.
you know?
Yeah.
So let me know.
What does this exactly mean? Like, you just make a profile and like it has like your one gift choice?
I think he means like you could just send a gift to start off the conversation and get it going.
It's not like there's one of them that has like the profile. That'd be a good, that's a good, they should do that. If you can make a profile and it's like you get to pick one gift to like represent you.
You probably could do that on some of them, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of have done this with our top fives in the past. I mean, given the circumstances, like I think if you're out there just looking for like some strange, if you're just out here trying to fuck, if you did the jerk off guy, the cowbell jerk off guy, or the saluting jerk off guy with the flag.
I think mine's I think it's either Brady.
Of course.
Let's fucking go. I think he just says, let's go. Let's go. And it's just like, yeah, we're going to fuck.
We're gonna fuck.
Or Michael Scott. No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
That's what I mean. Like, you can either go with like just a gif that like is funny or represents you or whatever, or like that's dating relevant. Because that would be perfect.
I mean, that one is tough to beat. You could go.
That's
fucking,
a really good one.
What's his name? Miles, the ringmaster, the ringmaster, the fucking boxing ref. in like Celebrity Deathmatch.
Let's get it on.
Yeah,
that guy. Yeah,
let's get it on.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good
I
one.
like
I think.
that one. What is that guy's name? Something Miles.
I think
right?
it's Miles, right?
Yeah. Let's get it on. Throwback. Yeah, I like that one a lot. I mean, you know, if you're a chick out here right now, you can throw out the WAP fucking gifs or whatever.
WAP. I would have Vin Diesel, just like the "This is Brazil," but I wouldn't say the "This is Brazil" part. Just him raising his arms, like, "What up? Guess
This is me.
Guess who's fucking here?
I'm fucking you tonight."
I
like that Michael Scott one. That might be the one.
Michael Scott. The
because it kind of inherently implies that, like, you know, if you're on the dating apps and you're consistently using them, that you're not finding love and all that shit.
The who's the jet ski dude? Well, you guys are crazy. I'm still gonna fucking send it. Like, just send it. Nudes with a send it.
That's a good one. Tweet at us at KFC Radio with what GIF you would use to put on your dating profile that represents you or your online dating game.
Or you know what you could have said? Like, thank God someone finally swiped right. Swipe right is yes. Swipe right. Like, this has been me on the dating app, and then Kevin with the chili, or it's just you could do something like that. But I think the
self-deprecating humor always plays.
Yeah.
KFC, Fight, Super Producer BC, Nick, Jackie, whoever's in the booth. My girlfriend just asked me an unbelievable question, and it has my mind in a pretzel. She asked, who do I think the most famous bald man is? And I'm stumped. My brain has so many bald men, and I gotta know what the correct answer is. And I'm sure Fight's big fucking brain will figure it out.
It's easy peasy.
Viva.
It's the most famous man in the world.
Say it one more time.
Most famous bald man.
Most famous bald man.
I can't believe it's taking you this long.
Well, now, I mean, the most famous. The first thing that came to my mind was Mr. Clean. Who are you thinking of?
I'm not thinking The Rock.
The Rock's bald? I mean, I guess
The Rock
now,
is certainly bald.
I don't think it was like a bald guy, though.
He's a man without hair on his head.
Yeah, but I mean, he used to have hair. Like,
He had a little bit of hair. The Rock never had a full head.
No, The Rock used to have like a flat top.
Yeah,
but
like it was a
Rocky
flat
Maivia.
Top with a 6 head. Like,
well, yeah, he always had a bad hairline, but he had hair.
He had hair,
and I mean, I feel like up until relatively recently, he still had like a, like a short buzz cut. You know?
I don't think so. I think The Rock's been bald since Fast 5 at least.
Do we think internationally he's bigger than Pitbull?
Pitbull's a great one.
I think he's bigger than Pitbull internationally.
But here's the thing, like that.
I almost think
I think of him a lot like this. Like, wait,
no way.
Yeah,
you're a loco hombre.
And like that, like his old school one, you know,
the old school,
like that. That's what I mean. Like Pitbull, I've never seen with hair.
But I think
he is a bald man. The Rock is a guy who now has no hair or has gone bald. Pitbull is a bald man.
I would accept this argument that they're both too famous to the point where you don't see bald. You just see The Rock. And you just see Pitbull.
Yeah, definitely.
It's always
no, I think
I don't see color.
Right.
I don't see bald in extremely wealthy men.
I don't see anything with him. I just see him.
I feel like to be a bald guy, you got to be poor.
To be a bald guy, you have to be poor.
Yeah, for someone to think of you as bald, you got to be poor. Because if you're rich, it's just like that's The Rock.
Yeah,
I'm not like that's
or
a bald
if you're
man.
Famous, you know, if you have like a persona about
like I've
you,
never thought of Michael Jordan as bald.
Right.
He's bald. I've never thought about it.
So I think what's going on here, like, you just picked the most famous man who happens to be bald.
Right.
Same thing with Michael Jordan. I mean, Michael Jordan's probably the answer. He's like the most famous person to ever like live, and he happens to be bald, but he's not a bald man
because he's rich. Rich people aren't bald.
I think beyond bald is like he's famous. I think the fame matters more than the rich.
Yeah, that's why you gotta be poor.
Because if you're like a stockbroker, if you're like a hedge fund guy, and you're worth like a bajillion, but you're bald, I would say you're bald.
Like Nate's bald.
Yeah, Nate's so bald.
You don't have to be poor, but you can't be mega famous and be bald.
Yeah,
you're just not. You're just famous.
Right.
This is another one of those Caribbean things. This makes sense. It's crazy, but it makes sense. There's no such thing as a rich famous person who's bald. Just doesn't exist.
Famous bald man.
I never even thought of Mr. Clean is bald. That's just a guy who likes to clean.
No, Mr. Clean is bald.
Steve Harvey.
Huh?
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey's bald? I had no idea. I know he's got a mustache. I didn't know Steve Harvey's bald.
See, I think there's such a difference between going bald and being a bald guy. I think you have to be bald since your fame to be a bald guy? Because everybody eventually will go bald.
I don't think SVP is bald. SVP is just SVP.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
He's a good one, but I honestly don't.
No,
the only time I
he's a
think
good
of
one.
SVP as bald is when people point out how SVP is bald.
Because he's made a brand of his too
Yes.
to come home. I think since SVP has been famous, he once had hair too. Like, it's not like he's forever bald. But once he was SVP, he was bald.
Yeah, I mean, he
He's
worked
a
for
good
Sports
one.
Center with hair, but when he became SVP, SVP.
Yeah, I don't think anyone, you close
He
your
was
eyes.
Scott Van Pelt when he had hair. He's SVP when he got bald.
Right. Yeah. Van Pelt, SVP is bald is part of who he is.
Bezos.
Bezos
Never
is a good
thought
one.
of Bezos as bald. I never in a million years would have. Yes, he's a bald man, but I never would have listed him on my bald people because he's fucking rich. This is proving more and more accurate the more names you throw. Like, I'm not arguing that these people aren't bald. I'm just saying never in a billion years would I have said that person. That name never would have crossed my desk.
Bezos, I think I might have. Like Howie Mandel's super bald right now, but I wouldn't think of him. Who's a good one? From Star Trek. Patrick Stewart. Jean-Luc Picard has been bald forever. Bruce Willis is a good one. He got a pretty big bald.
Never wouldn't it? Never. You're just listing people I wouldn't think of because they're just too famous to think of as bald people.
Billy Corgan is very famously
From
bald.
Smashing Pumpkins?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Like,
Well, I mean, I know he is, but they're Smashing Pumpkins.
but
They were a good band. When's the last time they made us? Actually, I think they came
no.
back
But as
recently.
far as bald men, like you're thinking more about the famous side of it. I'm thinking more about the bald side of it. The guys who being bald are who they are, or like who their only look is. I think you need to be permanently bald in your entire time of fame to be a bald guy. Because literally everyone eventually loses their hair and goes bald. So you have to be bald from the beginning of your. And I think you have to be white because I think too many black guys have shaved heads and it doesn't resonate.
That's pretty true. It's pretty true. They muddy the waters with it. There's just too many.
And I mean, okay, now what are we qualifying as bald? Because I would say like George Costanza, like the ring around the hair, bald. You're George, you're bald.
Costanza's a good one.
Yeah, that is like who. It's part of his description. It's part of like who he is. But that's also, he's got like the ring of hair. Like this has Mike Tyson. Like nobody would ever be like, describe Mike Tyson, bald man.
Yeah.
No, come on. Bezos is pretty good bald. There's a lot of black guys here who I'm just not going to count.
Just leaving them out, huh?
Yeah, because they just, they're all
Not people.
Like, it's like Shaq's bald. No, he's not. Shaq is bald. Samuel L. Jackson bald. These, black guys have bald heads.
But like it's
This guy is a good bald one. What's his name? Sir Ben Kingsley.
Oh yeah,
He's always been bald.
Sir Ben Kingsley. No, never mind. I was gonna say I believe he's Indian, but I think it's actually the opposite, where he got flack for playing brownface.
I thought he had some
Is he?
touch of it. I think he did have a touch of it. Yeah, I think, like this guy, he's not famous enough. The guy who played in Letterman's band, he's a bald guy. I mean, I swear to God, I think my answer is actually Mr. Clean.
All right, I'm going to stick with The Rock, but I think the larger message here is we don't think you have to be poor to be bald.
I think my bigger message is that to be bald, you have to be bald your entire time as a famous person. You can't go bald. You have to be bald from Jump Street, like Pitbull or like SVP. You have to have always been bald.
Okay, I'll accept that. I think it's wrong. I think I'm righter, but
I think I'm more righter.
I'm righter, but it's just like you're listening to these people and you're like, yeah, I see them all the time, but I just never think, oh, I'm looking at a bald person right now.
Last voicemail brought to you by HelloFresh. Get fresh, pre-measured ingredients.
Bro, these last two fucking ad reads have been just my shit.
I was gonna say,
two things I do on the daily.
You go get yourself some ground beef, some bacon, some maple sugar and brown sugar, and some maple syrup with some Kraken rum. We'll hit you off with the recipe to make yourself some bomb-ass double bacon cheeseburger.
Or you could take a better one and just get HelloFresh because they give you bomb recipes. Their recipes are so good. I brought one to lunch today.
John packed his lunch.
I packed my lunch today. Last night I made cheesy chicken and mashed potatoes and carrots in a mushroom sauce. I didn't leave mushrooms on the chicken, but I just kind of spooned the sauce onto the chicken as it cooked, and it was fucking delicious. And I knew I'm making steaks from HelloFresh tonight.
So wait, you cooked that and saved it for the morning?
Well, I cooked because they're coming meals are 2.
Right.
And my girlfriend wasn't hungry last night. And so I just had an extra meal, and I knew I'm having steaks tonight for the Pats Jets game. So I was like, well, it wasn't going to go bad. I could have left it for tomorrow night, I suppose.
Right.
But I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to take it to lunch, warm it up.
Dude, the responsible and adult thing to do of you, not only not spending money on lunch during the day, but cooking it yourself, cooking it the night before.
I fucking
packing
love
it,
cooking.
bringing it in.
If anyone in my family listens to this, like, get me don't give me cooking lessons for my birthday or for Christmas because I'm not going to go to those. But just
honestly, you don't need it with HelloFresh.
No.
You don't have to have any skills.
So
you don't have to have
easy.
any preconceived notions about how to cook.
The nicest thing I say about HelloFresh is it's made me lose respect for chefs. I just don't have any respect for chefs.
It's like
anymore.
if you just give me the list, I can do it.
Yeah, I can fucking do this.
Yeah.
Just give me the ingredients.
As long
give
as
me
you
like
can
the
follow
instructions, I'll just do it.
All you need is like the basics at home as far as like pots and pans and shit like that.
Everything else. You need pots, pans, butter, salt, and pepper.
That's
everything
it.
else.
Everything else comes with it, and it all comes in pre-measured packaging. So like it's not. You just dump that whole thing in and you're good to go. You can't over-season it or under-season it. Obviously, once you get better at it and you start to cook a little more, you'll know, what you like and season things to your taste. But in the beginning, no stressful planning, no stressful cooking. Like, you just follow the rules, follow their recipes, pop in their ingredients, and you have yourself a delicious meal. Which means you'll save money because you won't be doing takeout. You won't be doing delivery fees. You won't be just relying upon like, let me get pizza again, or let me get like some fatto like mozzarella sticks or whatever. You get to pick from 20 chef-crafted delicious meals every week to help you break out of that recipe rut. You try new things. You're trying food that you probably never thought you would before, and it's just 20-minute meals. They have low-calorie, vegetarian, and family-friendly recipes and more, along with all sorts of different choices that fit your diet, that fit the season, that fit whatever it is you're looking for. HelloFresh has it. And
you want to pick my menu for next week right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, because I thought I forgot. I got to change it. Oh, I have until Wednesday to change it, but let's just do it right now. Okay. I like so little look into my weekly choosings here. My girlfriend doesn't really care for pork, so I don't get a lot of pork. And then I don't really like making the burgers that much. I'm just not much of a burger guy.
You make them raw, apparently.
So, okay, so we're gonna go with the pork tenderloin. I just said, well, I like this one, so fuck it. All right, and then let's see, chicken over garlic parmesan spaghetti, maybe. Let's see what we got here. Toasted coconut tempura shrimp, maybe. Cherry balsamic bavette steak, yes, add that. I love the bavette steak.
Balsamic.
Yep. And then let's see, pulled pork fiesta bowl, maybe. Chicken sausage and tomato risotto. Ooh. Garlic butter shrimp scampi. I fuck with that. Pork sausage and pepper heels. I can't get 2 pork things.
I was gonna say we're just throwing her right out the window.
So that's 3 now.
Chicken tacos.
Oh, done. In.
Chicken tacos.
Girls will love that too. She'll love the chicken tacos.
All right, so we're going chicken tacos,
pork tenderloin, and steak.
Pork tenderloin and steak.
Beautiful.
Done.
There you go. We just made John's meal for the week, and you could do the same thing at HelloFresh.com/KFC90 because you are going to get $90 off.
Oh,
it's one of the best deals we've ever had, including free shipping, which can be a lot because you got a big box with a lot of ingredients coming your way. So HelloFresh.com/KFC90 and get $90 off your orders now when you start picking up meals for the week. You gotta get involved with it because and there is something about, like I said, when you like work out in the morning, well, at night when you make yourself your own food, it's like
you feel
I
good,
did it.
dude.
Fuck yeah.
This morning I worked out, made my bed, and I'm gonna cook dinner when I get home.
Woo,
despite the fact that I just
baby.
had I just had some tacos, and boy, the heartburn's kicking.
From lowering the bar. Let's specify. It's HelloFresh.com/KFC90. Last voicemail. Let's go.
Hey, KFC, Fight, whoever's producing. I had a conversation with a guy, and I want to know your guys' thoughts. I am a Rangers fan, so I have had definitely a rough couple of years. And I just met this guy who's from Long Island, whose parents tried to get him to be a Jets and a Mets fan. But he chose to not pick any team for any sport and, quote, just wants a good game. No matter what sport, no matter what team's playing, he just wants a good game. He just picks a team within that game, I guess. I don't know. So my question is for KFC, because apparently Fights only picks good teams. Would you rather be a Mets fan and be miserable your whole life, or would you have rather just not picked anybody from the beginning and just wanted a good game? Thanks, guys.
I mean, looking back on it now, I think I would say like, man, yeah, I wish I was just like kind of casually watching sports and just rooting for overs and rooting for good games and stuff. But that's just not who I am and not who I would be. Like, I if I didn't grow up like living and dying on every pitch of Mets baseball, or like the excitement I felt during like Knicks playoff games in the 90s, or just the like who I am is like getting my ass kicked on Sundays as the Jets. I don't know. I mean, it's like asking me to like be an entirely different person, kind of. So I guess in hindsight, I would say like, yeah, I wish I was just like, hey, I don't know, the Rangers are good, I'll root for them. And hey, the Giants, I guess like when I rooted for the Giants to beat the Patriots, that was the closest I ever got, where it was like, yeah, I'm just rooting for New York. Not really even because it's New York. It's just anti-New England. That was fun, and I like had a good time, and it didn't hit like I won a championship, but the team I wanted to lose lost, and I was like, hey, I was just rooting for the city there, and it felt good. It worked out. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think I could go back and undo it and live a different way. I could go back and become the other side and be a full-blown fan of that.
Right.
Again, if my dumb dickhead grandpa just didn't hate the fucking designated hitter, I would probably be a Yankees fan, and then I would have been great. I would have been golden. Would have been a fucking, like, they go Gumbazzo, but, I would have been winning. So I could do that, but I don't think I could just be like I just root for everybody.
I get jealous of you that you even have those moments of, like, watching another game that doesn't involve your team at all and caring about who wins. We're like, yes, if this person wins, my enemies will be sad.
Yeah.
Like if I'm watching like a Yankee so-and-so game, like that was like a common shirt like sold in Faneuil Hall. Like I root for two teams, the Red Sox and whoever's playing the Yankees.
Yeah.
And
but
like
you used to feel that, no?
No.
Never did?
I never really paid much attention to him. I hated the Yankees and I hated Yankee fans, but like in a game I wouldn't like if in a game that the Red Sox were not involved in, I didn't really.
That's why
care.
I mean, everyone like it's like I understand no one will ever give me credit as like a fan because it's not my team. But when I'm rooting against the Yankees, I become an for a 10-day stretch in a 7-game series, whatever. I become like a diehard fan of the Cleveland Indians, the Detroit Tigers, like whoever it is. Like in that moment, I promise you, I'm getting as much satisfaction as the fans of that city are. So like every baseball season, I have like a moment of bliss for 19 of the last 20 years. So in a way, I always say like business is booming as a Yankee hater. We are in the middle of a dynasty. I am in the middle of a 20-year dynasty, a 19 out of 20-year run. So who's really losing? Huh? Who's really losing at the end of the day?
That is I think it's become more and more common too. Just the like I just like the sport. I think it wasn't so much a thing ever.
Basketball really basketball led the way with that.
You think so?
Because they just have so many stars.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I want to watch this guy like go off. And I don't think they have as many rivalries because they don't really do like there's no division rivals, It's nobody's like, oh man, the Atlantic this year is going to be tough with the Celtics and the Knicks.
Yeah.
You see each other a lot, but there's nothing like that really where it's like, I can't.
This year had a bit of Celtics Sixers. Philly and Boston talk some shit.
And within the Eastern and Western, within the conferences,
I don't even know what
you'll
division
break it down.
Are they not
exactly.
in the same division?
No, they are. But I'm saying
okay.
that but I'm saying that's more of like an Eastern like we know eventually we're gonna meet in the East to go through.
Yeah.
Whereas like in baseball, it's like the AL East is like you're gonna face them 19 times, and it's gonna be a battle within this bigger picture. Where
hockey did it where they just changed it to like they only play like 2 times. Like I forget what number it is, but like. It used to be like we play the Canadians like 8 times a year.
Yeah,
and
it was like it's on. That's like a little series within itself.
I think it's 2. It might be 4 times a year now, but I think it's only a home and home, which is crazy for like the Bruins Canadians.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It makes no fucking.
Yeah, they got
sense.
wacky with their
Gary
alignments
Bettman,
and
you
shit.
goddamn fucking dick face.
Yeah, him and Manfred just trying to one up each other as far as how bad can you fuck up your own sport. All right, interview time. We got The Miz. The Miz from old school Real World fame. If you're MTV. If you grew up on MTV like I did, a modern day wrestling superstar, heavyweight champion, intercontinental, he explains to us every belt he's had. So The Miz is brought to you by Thursday Boots. This company bootstrapped their startup, and they've been shaking up the industry by making ridiculously high-quality boots that they sell at direct-to-consumer, unbeatable prices. Head on over to ThursdayBoots.com to get a pair today with free shipping and free returns, and if you don't love it for any reason, the size, the fit, whatever, Thursday Boots has you covered. And please do me a favor, do their survey after at checkout. Just click a couple buttons and let them know that KFC Radio sent you there so that we get credit for it.
Just a few buttons. That's it. Easy peasy.
Click, clack.
You get nice boots. We get nice credit.
Good to go. Thursday Boots, The Miz, brought to you by Thursday Boots. Let's go.
I didn't feel good at all. I was getting lightheaded in about 10 seconds.
I was ready to go right away. You know what I think I did? I think, is it possible to take too deep of a breath?
What up?
Yo.
Oh, you're looking sharp.
Always dapper for KFC.
You motherfucker. This is not what I like to see on a Friday.
We got the 1 minute man up in here.
I love it. Thank you.
Guy has a 1 minute man that every single one is like 3 minutes long, by the way. And he's doing this. It's like going speed. He's got 14 different like computers. You can tell he's going this one. 3 different cameras going. The whole shebang.
I love it. Yeah, I found out that I got too much to say. I like hearing my own self. I'm like, all right, I'll keep it to a minute. Next thing I know, it's like 4.5 minutes long.
But it's so entertaining though, because you're going so quick and the cuts and everything. I mean, you got the whole system.
I'm trying, man. It was one of those things like, I've been doing this shit for like 10 years, and I was like, all right, I can do this. I can just go. So hopefully it's working. I hope. I'm happy to hear you like it. So
it entertains me.
Well, I feel like that means a lot coming from you, because you got the gift of gab, man. You got it, and you've always had it, whether it's wrestling, whether it's reality TV. Whatever endeavor you go into next, you got it too, man. Is that something you knew about yourself from like day one?
No.
No bullshit.
You're a liar.
I'm telling you. Like, yeah, do I speak well? Sure. Okay, great. But like even when I was in high school, like I'd have like book reports and stuff, and I would be the person that the people would be like, "Oh, you'll be great at it, right?" Because you talk it up there, and I'd kind of freeze.
Well,
but I'll never forget though. When I was in high school, I was running for student government president. And there was 4 people running, and I went down and asked my dad. I go, Dad, can you listen to my speech and tell me if it's pretty good? And so I give him this speech. I pour my heart out to my father. My dad goes, "That was terrible. That was horrible." Goes, "Oh, great. I'm probably going to lose." He goes, "Let's work on this." So my dad stayed up and worked with me on it. And I went in there and I did the speech. And I got like a standing ovation. All right. And then I ended up winning the presidency of our student government.
That's
at
a hell
Normandy.
of a story, man.
So was that your very first time? Like where finally, I feel like everyone who kind of works in media has that moment when they're younger where you realize like, oh shit, people are entertained by me. Was that your first one?
That was the first time where a speech worked, where I felt the goosebumps, and you felt like, ooh, I got him. Like I got the crowd.
Yeah.
And so I guess that was the first time that ever happened. But the first time I was actually in WWE as like a host, I was hosting like the Diva Search, and I'll never forget, like I was supposed to say this one catchphrase. It was like, I can't remember. It was like the sexiest women on the planet or something like that. And when I was announcing the catchphrase, the tagline that I was supposed to get, I messed up the words. And I messed up the tagline. And I was like, and in my head, I went, "Oh my God, you just messed up the tagline. Oh my God, you just messed up." Then all of a sudden my brain froze.
Yeah.
Mind you, there are 15,000 people watching live in an arena, millions watching at home. Yeah. And all I'm thinking about is, what's my next line? I don't have a line.
You can't recover it. Yes.
I have a cold sweat going. I don't know what's happening. And then I have to remember the phone number. And I wrote it on my wrist. However, I was sweating so much that
it ran
the phone number erased off my arm. So I was like, just call the
number.
Google it.
And thankfully they put it up on the Tron, but I messed up the entire thing. I remember going back into like the gorilla position, as we call it, and looking at Vince going, "Vince, I promise you this will never happen. I will work on it nonstop.
Yeah.
And I've been working on it ever since to never have that feeling of just freezing.
Bombing.
And I don't know if you guys have ever froze, like even when you're on the radio or anything, but when you freeze, there's nothing that can help you.
The first time I was in, I worked at the radio that I went to college at, and I was just doing like the 1 minute, like I guess Minuteman stuff back then too, where you're just doing like a sports update. And I had, just like a piece of paper, and you're supposed to just read the scores and the schedule. And it was like when you're running downhill and you can't keep up with your legs, and I got ahead of myself and I couldn't keep to the script. And I was like, I mean, it was not even English, sweating the whole nine, out of breath. I almost like passed out. All I was doing was talking. And mercifully, this update ends. And I like walk back out to like the bullpen area of the radio station. And everyone's looking at me like, well, like, and one guy was just like, well, we'll have to work on that. And it was like totally almost unspoken. Like, yeah, that fucking stunk, dude.
And it's also funny because like, I still will slur a word here and there because we're live.
Yeah.
Like you don't get 2 takes, 3 takes. We're live. I'll slur a word and it aggravates me so much because I want everything to perfection.
Right.
Like I want people to be able to feel it. Like I remember this one promo. Everyone says it's like my best promo I've ever done. I watch it and I can't stand it because I am bummed. Because when you get really angry, like really heated, you can't speak because your brain is going so fast that your mouth can't regurgitate what's going on in your head.
Yep.
I had one of those moments on a show called Talking Smack on WWE, and I went off. Like I remember feeling like the just heat just go. I remember getting goosebumps and just going blank. And I don't even remember what I said or what I did. I got done and everyone was just like, whoa. Whoa. And I mean, I got texts from like people that like normally don't really ever text me being like, that was the greatest promo I've ever seen. I had to go back and watch it because I don't remember what I was saying. And I watched it and I go, oh my God, this is terrible. I'm bumbling. I'm slurring words.
Yeah, but it's real, right?
Anger.
It's the emotion. Yeah, nobody really cares about the technical execution. They're just like, whoa, this dude is fucking raging right now, or he's being funny, or whatever the emotion is. That's what the people want to see. They don't care about the pronunciation of a word here or there.
Yeah, but I want both.
Yeah,
I want
of course.
the execution and I want the feeling. And sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Right. But that's I think that's what your personal drive is. But as long as the audience is hearing the passion, like, the rest of it catches up. I feel like in wrestling for me, like the mic work is it. Like you need, of course, the high flying stunts, you need the mankinds of the world to take the bumps. You need all that shit, of course. But, the greats, it's all about the mic work, right?
Yeah, I mean, when growing up, my favorites were and it's energy as well.
Yeah,
My favorites growing up were like Ultimate Warrior, and Ultimate Warrior's promos would just be screaming and yelling nonsense. Oh, the spaceship with the rocket till the Ultimate Warrior, and literally, you just loved the energy that he gave you because it made you feel that. And then I'd watch up into my high school years where The Rock would get in there. Yeah. And anything The Rock would say or do, you would want to know what was going to happen next.
Right.
And so that's what I carry over to what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to be able to ensure that I gave the energy and passion and believability to an audience that they will believe anything I say.
Right.
And when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. Like right now, I'm Mr. Money in the Bank. Being Mr. Money in the Bank means I have a contract that I can cash in anytime, anywhere on a WWE or Universal Champion. Right now, it's Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns is the champion of SmackDown, which is on Fox. Randy is the champion of Raw, which is on USA. And I can go to either show and cash in. So let's put something out there. Say Randy Orton gets thrown through a table. I can walk out there and say, I want to go up against Randy Orton right now. He can't even get up. Good. That's even better for me. I'm going to pin him 1, 2, 3 and be WWE champion. I'm like Willy Wonka. I have the golden ticket.
Yeah. You got the keys to the nukes. Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of shit that I love most about wrestling too, is like, I remember when they made the hardcore belt and it was just like, this whole new fucking idea, like it just radically changed what it meant to like win a belt or when you could have a match or whatever. To me, that's like where the creativity of wrestling is like unparalleled. Is that something like those broad ideas? Is that Vince? Is there like a team of story writers?
Everything, to be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of it is like the WWE universe and what they're gravitating towards.
Right.
You know, no one would have believed, I think 8 months ago, that Otis would win the Money in the Bank contract in a ladder match, because Otis is like a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is just round. He's like 300 pounds of pure solid muscle, and he's just incredibly entertaining. And it ended up where he didn't even climb the ladder. The briefcase got taken off the thing and dropped right in his lap. And then cut to 8 months later, I tried to get the Money in the Bank contract off of him. I didn't think that was ever going to come to fruition. Right. I had no idea. And it just, as time progressed, developing, it started becoming a reality where I was like, oh man,
oh shit, yeah, I
should be Mr. Money in the Bank, because I can do what no one else can do with a Money in the Bank contract. Right. I am a bad guy. I am the ultimate opportunist. When an opportunity presents itself, I will cheat, I will lie, I will steal, I will do whatever it takes to win, because I'm a winner.
Right. I love it. How fun is it to have that be like your persona and your character, to just like,
oh my God, imagine you get to do whatever you want in a WWE ring. Say what you imagine being the Minuteman in WWE. Do you have any idea how much fun our fans would have with the Minuteman?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Let's make it happen, Miz. Come on. I mean, I'm made of glass, so I can't take any bumps or anything. But let's play out this idea. I could get down with a little mic work.
You could be a manager.
There you go. Exactly.
You could come in and you could just chit chat your way all the way through and just have the guy get beat up, and you're just like, hey, I'm just right here. I'm just being a Minuteman here.
I love it, dude. I mean, the name is perfect. Let's go. Is there anything so like, you know, you're doing different projects in different fields. Is there anything where some guys don't break character at all? Like Undertaker famously was, I think up until very recently, like never was out of character. Is that something you get to decide, or they decide, or how does that work?
Well, it's kind of me. Like, to be honest, like I've got Ms. and Mrs. Like I have a reality show where you can watch literally how I am with my wife, Maurice, who is another WWE superstar. You can watch me with my child, my two little girls. One's 2.5, one's 1, Madison Monroe. And it's kind of a reality show. And the way my wife and I said we were going to do this show is only if we could do it how we wanted to do it and what's real and what's true to us. And so that's kind of how this developed. And luckily, all of our drama ends up being really funny. Mm-hmm. So all of our hell ends up being everyone else's delight.
Are we doing a Kardashian thing here with the M's? Is that a theme? Everybody going to be an M?
Is that what we're doing? I didn't realize that was a Kardashian theme.
Well, they famously did all.
Una Murray, the production company that does Keep It Up with Kardashians, does do Ms. and Mrs. So maybe they got it from there. I don't know. I mean, they're widely successful. So
it's a good recipe to follow.
I don't know. Would they have 10 seasons? I would love
18.
Let's ride that way, man.
18, no, 19, right?
Yeah, I think it was like 18 years, 15 seasons, something crazy like that. Yeah, that's the dream right now, man.
So we gotta talk about this personality real quick. So your character, it's just you. Like, you're just this confident and happy.
You're witnessing it right now.
God,
like, I go
damn, that must be. What is that like, dude? What's it like to just be confident?
You don't have any of that?
None, man.
You have to be kind of confident to have your own radio show.
He sells himself short.
Miz, we do it in a room fucking empty. There's
I'm noticing. I was like looking at that. You two look like you're like hugging.
Yeah.
It's like a really tiny room in New York or Chicago.
No, we're in New York. That's what it is.
And you guys are like just squished in. You have like your crappy like lighting tools that you use. I don't even think you guys use lighting. I think you feel like you're using like lights. Like my wife bought strategic lights for every but she has LED lights back here. I don't know if you noticed that. Like, she made it really professional. I feel like you guys just said, hey, give us a TV screen, throw the logo on it, give us some headphones, let's go, call it a day.
This is why I have no confidence, because we have thousands of dollars of lighting in here.
But you know what we don't have? I think what we needed is like the touch of a woman. Because when I come in here, it's like, let me just blast this pasty face with this fucking spotlight. We needed someone to be like, let's work your better side. Let's work this angle, you know?
Plant.
Yeah, look at that. You got foliage.
Get a plant in there. Show a little color.
What is, how's it like working with the lady? I'm always interested in people who's, your careers.
Honestly, it's amazing. Like when we were working as a WWE superstar, I was the Intercontinental Champion at the time, and she was by my side. I don't think I was ever better in a ring than I was then. I mean, whenever you have a beautiful woman basically backing up everything you say, if you say you're the best, you're the greatest, you're number one, and then you got this hot, smart, like sexy, strong woman next to you saying, yeah, he is, he is,
right.
He is. It's like, yeah, here we go. You got to believe it, right?
Right, but okay,
So
but then
awesome.
what happens?
Now we get to be with Ms. and Mrs. where we get to film our day-to-day life. And honestly, it's brought our family closer together. Like the only reason my dad ever comes to my house isn't to see my daughters, his grandchildren. No, it's to be on Ms. and Mrs. That's it. I go, hey, Dad, want to come for Thanksgiving? He goes, are you filming Ms. and Mrs.? I said, no. He goes, well, then no.
It's COVID, right? You're such a grinder. You work so hard and do everything. Does it ever feel like when you come home, you're still working because of the show? And most of the time you are?
No, not really. Like when I'm home, I'm literally throw the camera, throw the phone out, and I just play with my daughters. And like the cool thing about, so with all the negativity and everything that's going on with COVID and everything, like it allowed me, usually we're on the road 250 days a year and we have live events all over. I'm traveling all over the world. Now I'm only traveling once a week, which is very, very minimal for me. So I got to actually spend time with my daughters and really get to watch them grow. And not only that, I taught my daughter how to swim. And it was like the coolest moment when you say, it's okay, jump in the deep end. You're 2.5 years old. You got this. Mm-hmm. And she jumps in and swims to you. And you're like, I did it.
Right.
I mean, I'm a man. I'm not going to cry, but, I did it.
Yeah. I was going to say, I feel like you're teaching your kids to swim is just throwing them in the deep end.
It kind of, yeah. Well, jumping. They jump themselves. I'm not throwing them in. They're jumping themselves. You're doing it.
What's it like? So she's hyping you up in the ring, right? And then what's it like though on a night where you guys, Rocky night, you guys are fighting or something like that, and then you got to go out there and you're doing your work and you're the fucking man, and she's got to be by your side. But then when the cameras are off, you guys go home and you're like, well, no, like fuck this.
You have to focus on your job.
Yeah,
like,
that's
no
not easy though,
also,
man.
Like we have arguments, but the best part about my wife and myself is that we respect one another. We know that we're not always going to agree on everything. It's just impossible.
Right.
And if I did agree with everything, then I'm just being you. And she doesn't want me to just be her. I don't want her to just be me. I want her to be her. That's why I married her. And she wants me to be me. That's why she married me. So we'll butt heads. Like we fight all the time. But the best part about our fights is that we learn new things about each other. And whether we agree or disagree, we end up making up. And it's usually a lot of fun.
Now, that's a very strong relationship you're describing. Not one that usually starts off, as I understand, with you coming out of the closet to her. Was that what happened? Yeah. You were trying to learn French to impress her, and you just said you're gay?
No, I did not. Never did I ever do that.
Oh, well, first of all, you agreed with it. No,
definitely not.
Dude, I was reading a website that was like, when you guys were getting to know each other, you tried to learn French to impress her. Okay,
that's why you have real news where you can get it from me, or you can go on the internet for that really, really good news.
I was trying to do some
obviously
research.
That's
this is why you don't do research.
It sounds like a story. Like my dad goes on podcasts and he embellishes the truth to make it a better story. So he lies a lot. So sometimes it's probably a podcast my dad was on. It's like, I don't know. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, this said that in French you said
this.
you were gay. You said you botched the wording and came out to her or something. That's what the internet said.
Never, no. So my wife didn't speak English when I first met her.
Okay.
And I was the host of a Diva Search, and she was a contestant. And she walks in, and she was like, hello, my name Maurice. Don't speak much English. And I was like, hey, just move along, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, 2 years down the line, she speaks broken English. We were out in WWE. I asked her to go out with us afterwards, after Monday Night Raw. And she's like, sure, okay, I go, no problem. I'm sitting at one table. She goes and sits with the guys at the other table. And I'm like, well, why would she do that? So then after everyone left, it was after hours. We go out, we're in the parking lot, we're chit-chatting. And she was like, all right, I'm getting tired. I was like, all right, well, I'll make sure you get home safely. We're driving to the same spot anyway. So as she's driving, I go, pull over, pull over, pull over. Like I call her and I'm like, pull over, pull over. She pulls over and I take her to like this adult toy store because I was like, look, I don't want to get in the friend zone. Like I want to make sure that this girl knows like I'm into her.
Yeah.
Like I'm really into her. Like I'm not a friend. I'm not your buddy. I'm not the guy you pat on the back. I'm the guy that you're with.
Yeah.
So we walk into this adult toy store and she is just looking at me like, this is weird. I've never, because it was a very seedy adult store. Like I was thinking like it was going to be like a Larry Flynn on Sunset or something like that.
Now this had
not so much.
This had the pound off rooms in the back.
Kansas. Not in Wichita, Kansas. So we go into this place and there's like swings and like, there's a mask with a ball, and I'm like, so are you into that? I'm sitting there, I'm just asking her like, you into that? I'm just trying to figure out what she's getting more weird and more weirded out as the time progressed. I'm like, look, we just got to go. So we ended up going into the parking lot and we ended up talking the entire night up until our flight, which was like 4 a.m. And so after I got done with that conversation with her, I told myself, like, I need to find a woman like that. That's the type of woman that I want. And this was 2008, maybe. And I feel like we've been together ever since.
Yeah.
And by the way, I flew home that day and went to Barnes & Noble and bought a French-speaking book and tried to learn French. Pretty hard. Let me tell you. And didn't learn French. Didn't teach me anything. But I married the girl, so it worked.
Well, what'd you end up buying at that store?
That's the real story.
Well, you know what? Better.
It's a better one. That's a bold move, though. Have you ever pulled a bold move on a first date or when you met a girl? That
was a first date.
No, I know.
Is there anything more bold than that? Saying, "Hey, let's go to an adult toy store."
But have you ever done one like that didn't work? This one clearly worked. But have you ever done one that just completely blew up in your face?
I mean, that was the riskiest one I've ever taken. No, nothing that like really blew up in my face. Nothing I can remember off the top of my head. How about you?
How about me? Yeah, we only got 10 more minutes, bud.
Did you end up buying the swing and the mask or what?
We did not. And we haven't still to this day. I think I freaked her out. I mean, if she wants to buy a swing, I'll buy a swing.
I'm not saying no. I feel like you've had, so much success and it all began at the real world, right? All began in the reality TV realm. Is that something that you there's other entertainers who have come through that road and I think sometimes try to downplay it or not talk about it or bring it up. Do you care or is it something that you...
No, I loved it. Yeah. I loved every moment that Real World brought to me. Like I was on MTV's The Real World back in 2000. Yeah. 20 years ago.
God damn.
And, I wouldn't be where I am to this day if it wasn't for The Real World. The Real World taught me, like for where I'm from, which is Cleveland, Ohio, you go to a college. Once you're done with college, you go back to Cleveland, you get a job, you get a family, and that's what you do for the rest of your life and blah, blah, blah. Once I tried out for The Real World and I made it on The Real World, it showed me that I could do whatever my mindset is in there. And that's where I said, I'm going to be a WWE superstar. So if it wasn't for The Real World, I'd probably be working for my dad at his local sub shop of Mr. Hero.
Yeah. Hey, listen, that sounds good though, Mr. Hero. I'm down with that.
It's cheesesteaks. So your boy Dave Portnoy can go there and he can do a little cheesesteak review.
All right, we should set that up. I think
I'll whip up one for him because I used to work there literally my entire high school time. I was like, he's doing cheesesteaks now? Are you kidding me?
Was there any moment when you first started that like was that did anybody give you shit for coming from reality TV to the wrestling world? Like you didn't pay your dues and all that shit?
I moved to LA and no one, even if I was they wouldn't even let me audition.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be able to audition because we already know you from Real World. We already know you from reality. We don't want that. Back then, like you were the worst thing ever. Like you were the
Scarlet
worst thing
letter.
that's ever come to Hollywood. Now I feel like everything is embraced because everything's a reality show.
Right.
You know, everything. Like you look at, YouTubes or like Instagrams, like what the biggest movie star in the world is doing, The Rock, because he posts every day.
Because it's all money,
I
man.
remember watching, by the way, during the pandemic, what kept me the most entertained was like your 9-episode documentary that you did on Instagram for Barstool Sports. Like it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like those things kept me like, I couldn't wait for them to come out every week. So I was like, oh man, it was amazing the way that Barstool was brought up. And now it is a huge entity.
Yeah, and we were kind of the same way.
Where
Like
you guys were working hard with it.
Yeah, and at times it used to be kind of looked down upon, or you're a blogger.
The hardest when we first started, the hardest thing was like telling family members what we do for a job.
You're a blogger.
You try and like explain it, like, I work in sports media, I work in media, I work on a website. Like you would never say blog.
Yeah, I'm a writer.
But you believed in it.
Yeah,
you believed in everything that you were doing, and you were able to do what you wanted to do. And I just think that's so admirable.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of cut from the same cloth. You're just, running around your underpants.
We've actually talked about that before. Where like we all, like, people say like Barstool's big now, and it is, and we always felt like we made it, quote unquote, when we just made enough to pay rent. Like it didn't like that was like, all right, we made it.
That was the goal.
We're happy doing our job, and we make enough to live, so we're good. We made it. What's your like? I made it. When did it snap for you? Was that Road Rules or was that
Man, I'm
later?
still trying to make it. Like even in WWE, sometimes I feel like I don't get the respect I feel like I want. Maybe that I feel like I deserve. I've won every title there is to win. But yet sometimes I feel like, you'll read Twitter here and there and you'll see all the negative comments. You don't deserve to be there. We hate you. You're the worst. But honestly, I look at those as compliments because they motivate me. They drive me.
Yeah.
And it's some nerd in his basement just typing away. So I use it as fuel. And then also like I'm also working on my wife and I are working on our production company, Mad Row Productions, where we're developing shows now. So not only do we have Ms. and Mrs., not only am I a WWE superstar, not only is my wife a WWE superstar, but we also have shows that we're also working on to develop for the masses and other people as well. So, it's always a never-ending grind. Like I'm never satisfied. I always want more.
That's the method. That's how we roll here. One of the things that we spun off of from the show is called Answer the Internet. So it's a series of hypothetical questions we've gotten from our readers and whatnot over the years. We're gonna hit you with a couple right now. So the Miz does Answer the Internet. What's your go-to game plan if the zombie apocalypse hits and you can't just say like I'll die? What's your game plan?
I don't think the Miz was gonna say he dies.
No, I don't think so either.
No, I'm ready to fight.
Yeah, but like, okay, so
guns.
you got guns. What's your go-to weapon? What's your game plan? Are you fortifying the house?
I've got a shotgun, and I've got a 9mm. Like I never was a gun guy until I lived in Los Angeles, like in Hollywood, and I have a family, right? And I would leave, and they always tell you don't ever tell anyone where you live. Or not where you live, but like that you're leaving. Like don't put it on Instagram, this is live. But I'm on a live television show.
Right, they're gonna know.
Like, what do you want me to do?
Right.
And I'll never forget, I put cameras all over my house, and my house had an attempted break-in. And it happened on numerous weeks. So I took my wife, I was like, look, you're getting a gun, we're gonna take you, we're gonna learn how to shoot them and figure out the best possible way to do that. So we are protected if we ever need to be protected.
So you got the real life game plan.
Who knows what would happen? There was 4 guys.
Wow.
Four grown men coming into my house. Like, who knows what could have happened?
Right.
Is that the same situation that led to your, and maybe this is true, maybe it's not, because I read on the internet, that led to your wife putting the house on the market without talking to you?
Yeah. We moved out of there, and we actually left Los Angeles. We moved to Texas for a year, and then now we're in a guard-gated community. And we have gates, we have with the whole shebang, like really high alert security.
Smart.
All right. At what moment do you think you officially become a man?
First hair. Just keep the hair down there. You're a man.
This is an interesting question.
If you can create, you are a man.
I was very late to that. And my high school team, like our hockey showers after practice, I remember everyone was like, "Oh shit, Fights has pubes now," and it was like a big deal.
This is a question we ask other people hypothetically. You're kind of actually living it. It usually goes, how much money would it take for you to be the villain on The Bachelor or Bachelorette? Now, you already kind of play a villain. Was that ever something like, you wanted to be a face, but they told you to be a heel? And
no, I'm naturally a bad guy. Like, I'm naturally a person. I just have one of those faces that you want to punch.
Yeah.
And so
I disagree with that. I think I do.
Naturally that way.
You got to smile.
I think you got a nice face. I'm gonna stand up for the mission.
Thank you.
If you were doing something like The Bachelor though, or Bachelorette, if you were a dating show type of thing, would you be the villain in that?
100%. It'd be so much fun. Like, think about all the things you could do to the other men that are vying for this woman's you could just prank them all day long.
Especially you, dude. Oh
my God,
put those kids in a locker.
You're a 3-headed monster, and you have to select the other 2 heads. The first head is one of your idols. The second is your biggest enemy. Who are the two heads you're picking?
Oh God, I don't really have a lot of enemies.
Just doesn't mean enemy. It could be someone you hate.
Just a person you hate.
Right.
I don't hate people.
Come on.
Fuck
people.
off.
You just said you wanted to be the villain.
So I would have my wife as the second head, because then I could just talk to her all day long, get smooches in here and there. So that'd be great. And then I would put, I'd put my mother-in-law Marjo, because she is something else. Let me tell you something. When you live with your mother-in-law, it is a whole new world. Everything revolves around your mother-in-law. And it is crazy, it is chaotic, and it is drama-filled all day long.
And you can catch it on the Ms. and Mrs.
Beautiful plug. It right here on the Ms. and Mrs. each and every Thursday.
Is there ever a time where you're like, look, come on, you understand that this is all mine, right? You honestly be like, I run the show. I know you're running the show, but I literally run this show.
Wait a second. Are you married? This is ours. This is ours. Okay, it's not mine.
I'm talking about the mother-in-law.
It's hers.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say, if anything, it's hers.
Decorated any room in this house. Do you think I have a man cave? And if I did have a man cave, it would have her decor all over it. I'd have no say in anything in this household.
But doesn't that make you want to be like, this is crazy? Why don't I have any say?
Oh, yeah. You say that to my wife. You do not. Have you ever had a girlfriend or a wife or been engaged? I feel like you haven't. I
just
feel like you're a single guy
just started.
in a house,
Miz, he just moved in with a girl, and I always tell him, this is how it's going to go. And he's like, not me, dude. I'm like, all right, we'll fucking see.
No, it's always not me until it's me.
Yes, you're the one guy out of the 8 billion who's figured it out. Not going to be you. Nope.
I'm going to figure it out. And I'll write a book when I'm done.
You better. If you do,
I'll teach both of you a lesson.
Next year, we're going to do the same thing, and you're going to be on, and you're going to go,
yeah,
I get it. I understand now.
I love it. All right, dude, we really appreciate the time. You're a busy man. Get back to it. So Mrs. Mrs. is out every Thursday, you said?
Yep, every Thursday, 10:30, 9:30 Central on USA Network.
My man, thanks so much. Keep it up, all right?
Thanks, boys.
Thank you. Have a good one.
I'm going to hit you with a little YouTube sabermetrics, okay? Only 15% of people who watch the videos on the KFC radio channel are actually subscribed. That means,
you fucking lurkers. I'm
right?
tired. Yeah, I'm
free
tired
85%
of lurkers.
freeloaders.
Retweet, fucking heart on Instagram.
Rate, review, subscribe.
If you enjoy content, double tap it.
Literally,
double tap to subscribe.
Just click. It doesn't. I think you only have to click it once, not even double.
Well, okay,
just one click.
I'm not a mathematician. Just a one click works.
Because I don't want. If you double click, you might subscribe and then unsubscribe.
Oh, true.
So just one click.
3 clicks.
3 clicks to subscribe, because otherwise, I mean, it literally doesn't affect you at all, and it will basically make our careers so much better.
Oh,
Please
so much better.
Do it.
Oh, you'll get us so good.
Please.
You'll get us going
Come
so
on.
good. 85% of you.
Don't be poor.
Triple time. The thing. The subscribe thing.
Smash that button, as they say.